Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Yeah,
Not good, huh?
it's going. Life is still here.
Yeah.
It's been a crappy evening. Let's just put it that way. But that's all right. That's all right. You know what? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be with you, Price, and hanging out with our wonderful people here in our chat on both YouTube and, of course, our home on Rumble for the 250th episode of The Night Owl.
It is the 250th episode, and I suppose we could have done some big celebration, but the truth is, I I like what we do here, and I felt like trying to do some kind of stunt casting and making it a whole to do wouldn't be like right with the spirit of what we have here. I mean, obviously, if we see some friends here in the chat, maybe at some point we'll consider bringing them on to say hello and things like that at a later point in the stream. But I'm just happy to shoot the breeze, you and I, just as we always do. And today you're grumpy and I'm tired and somewhat grumpy, so I'm sure it's going to be a great stream.
Six says, I am having a day. You know, I wasn't having a day until about an hour ago. Yeah. Got an unpleasant, unfun email from work. And so why are they up emailing at this hour at night? Great question. But yeah, definitely took an okay day and made it a rather crappy one. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. Happy to be here. Like I said, happy to hang out with Price, and 250th episode. We got all sorts of crazy stuff to talk about. The Odyssey, more stuff about Snyder and Gunn.
I feel like these last few weeks, there's only like a certain amount of topics that we can talk about, and they seem to be repeating themselves.
Yeah, you know, there's plenty of news in the box office, but it's pretty much the same news we've had for a few weeks now, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no surprises, and the other thing is like all the sort of Johnny come latelys now. There's all James Gunn this and James Gunn that. I explained the situation with James Gunn like before anybody even said anything. There are people out there, and I'm not trying to get personal. There are people out there that were angry at me when I said that James Gunn was a clown after I saw Superman, and those same people now are saying that he's a clown. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that a little bit of vindicated here. I think I did pretty well, with my analysis. We got some super chats, and we'll get to them in a second. I'm just doing like this crazy multitasking because on one hand we're doing the stream, and on the other hand I'm going to Twitter right now and I'm posting that there's a stream. Now I should have done it in advance, especially since the 250th episode, but here at Price of Reason Studios, we sometimes just fly by the seat of our pants.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
make of that what you will. And
well, while you're multitasking, I'll make sure to say hi to all our friends in the chat. We've got Angry Sparrow, Gavin Unit, Jonathan Conroy, Yitis, Tomahawk 511, Ron Donafero. Hey, Ron. Badfoot, Six is there in the chat. The Dead Man. Lasher, Big Sur River. Good to see all of you here. If I missed anybody, I will get you in the end. But for now, yeah, it's great to see all of you here. Not joined by any of our regulars over on Rumble just yet. We do have a few viewers over there, but nobody in the chat. So, hopefully we'll be picking up over there soon. But I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, we talked about last week. We talked about Moana in the box office. Moana being a real kind of a disaster. I didn't even bother. I actually did consider seeing Moana for a bit, and then after some of the early reviews came out, just saying the word that seems to be the most common among a variety of different different reviewers is soulless. That it's just this mess of a movie that is essentially just a complete and total like scene for scene remake, practically the same script from a movie that's barely 10 years old at this point. Kids who saw this when they were children are still teenagers. Like it's not even like old enough that you're like you're reaching a new generation. It's the same people. And then seeing some of the scene comparisons that people have done, like here's this scene from the original, and here's this scene from this live action, quote unquote live action version, and it's so dull looking compared to the original. There's no real, it doesn't feel like there's any character, any expressiveness. It's the bright, beautiful colors that were in the original, which were gorgeous. It was great CGI, or just not there. And then of course, the sort of fake looking musculature of The Rock versus the original, version that was in the animation. It's just they don't compare favorably. Let's put it that way. And of course, the production budget for this movie. Did you see what the production budget was for this price?
Isn't it something like 250 million or something?
$250 million for this sloppy live action remake that has no character, no emotion. It's just the blandest possible version of this film. And again, a movie that's not even 10 years old, or just barely 10 years old at this point. It actually came out before the 10th anniversary of the original film.
Ridiculous. I just want to quickly address these super chats.
Course.
First of all, Six, big fan of Six. I always like Six. She gave us a $2.50 super chat. She says congrats with a party favor thing or whatever you call it. And thank you so much, Six. She also says this show is the best with just the two of you. And I appreciate that. That's really the foundation of the show. And we appreciate you being here. Thank you. And you supporting us and just you being you. We also have Gavin Unit, who's a channel member and has been for a while. He sent £2 and he said, rum. I have to say that a lot of people think that in that song that I sing like with I am awesome guy with the videos, they think I say rum, but it's actually brum. Now, why, like with a B at the beginning? Now, why is there a brum at the beginning? I'm not 100% sure. As I told you, it was a satire of another song. So I don't know what got into me that I did the brum, but it was just because I was doing a parody of something else. And I think that in the original song that I was sort of doing a spoof of, I think that in the original one, there was a noise that sounded like brum, but I didn't have that noise. And initially, when I did the original version of it, I didn't have it, and I wasn't going to spend time finding a noise that sounds like it. So I just grabbed the microphone and went like, brum. And then that became a part of it. And then when I re-recorded for like the more elaborate, like, polished version, if you want to call it that, of the tune, I couldn't get rid of the brum anymore. So I even enhanced it. Like I made it even more like noticeable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I am such an awesome guy. Brum.
Brum.
It was because of that silly. I'll tell you why. Mike Zero had a song that he played in his videos. I thought, and I always say this, I thought that Mike Zero sang the song. Later, it turned out to be some other dude that let him use his song. It wasn't Mike Zero singing it. Now, I couldn't understand one word of what he was saying. It sounded like he was like, gargling marbles while he was singing. Like, you can't get one word out of it, and there's some weird filter on it, but he's like, so I just said to myself, okay, like what could he possibly be singing about, thinking that it's him singing, which is all wrong. And then I'm like, he probably likes himself a lot. That's probably what this song is about. And then that's how it became the I'm such an awesome guy, I make so many videos, because he used to make a video every 5 minutes. It's so silly how some spoof that nobody ever even understood turned into something completely different. So yeah, and so we got these nice super chats. Thank you so much. I also see Estephobos in the chat, who's a friend of the channel, VIP friend, and yeah, fun times. Nice that we're able to do this stream every
Yep.
Tuesday and Thursday. I don't take that for granted, and it always makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy? I'm going to tell you a secret, Professor. Uh, I couldn't fall asleep. My hours have been a bit off, and I'm tired when I don't need to be tired, and sometimes when I want to be tired, I'm not tired. So I said to myself, I'll put something on Netflix, and maybe it'll put me to sleep. Are you with me, Professor?
Okay.
So I put on I turned on Netflix, and it said that there was Enola Holmes Part 3. Now
A-
I knew
and
this
that
would be
wasn't a snooze?
so okay. I knew this wouldn't be a good movie. Now I thought to myself, if I put this movie on, maybe I'll fall asleep, and it sort of worked. I mean, I want to say like I started watching it, and is it sharing the screen? Let me see if I can share it. I watched the first movie, then I watched the first two movies, although I'm not sure why I watched them. I'm not sure why I watched those movies, to be honest with you. I watched number 1 and number 2. Uh, the first one was, I guess, the most tolerable out of the 3, although it wasn't very good. The second one was even less good than the first one, which wasn't very good. And the third one, man, it starts off that, like, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes. She's getting married to some lord, but she still wants to be a detective. And then, like, you see Henry Cavill at the beginning, and this is a pattern I've noticed for all 3 movies. You see, like, Henry Cavill at the beginning for a few minutes, and then for whatever reasons, there's some kind of reason why he has to disappear, and you don't see him again for a very long time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I suspect that he has, like, some kind of arrangement here where he signed a contract, he makes the appearance, but it's, like, understood that he's not gonna sit here all day and all night. It seems like they have Henry Cavill for a limited time. They have some scenes that they need to do with him, but he's not the focus of the movie. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate because him doing a Sherlock Holmes movie would have been more interesting to me than, Millie Bobby Brown doing Sherlock Holmes' sister, which is basically what this series of movies is. In addition to it, and I hate to say it, I hate to be that guy, but all those kind of weird swaps that don't make any sense.
Yep.
So I don't remember now if this was a thing in the second movie because the second movie was so boring that I can barely even remember what was in it. But the movie starts off that Enola Holmes has to go to her own wedding. And as she's on her way to her own wedding, some guy is like riding, like, a horse, like some guy that has a mask on his face, sort of riding in the background. And, she basically confronts him. And you know who it ends up being?
No.
It ends up being Dr. Watson. However,
Uh,
however, you may not have noticed that he was Dr. Watson because he seems like he came from India, which is odd for a number of different reasons. Because I don't think that, like, whenever this is supposed to be taking place, like a period piece, I don't think that Dr. Watson would be from India. Do you get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Or from Pakistan or whatever. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't ring true. Now, I could have been dreaming it because it was a late hour, but I thought that there was like and again, this is nothing personal, like a Pakistani Dr. Watson, and then my mind was like, what is it? What is it that I'm watching here? I watched a bit more of it, and she was hanging around. Like, you see more of her and Dr. Watson, of the, for lack of a better word, Pakistani Dr. Watson walking around England in like the 1800s or whatever it is. And I think that, I don't know. I guess it worked. I found myself that it's maybe like a third into the movie, which really bored me. I fell asleep. So just saying. Oh, somebody's saying Moriarty is black. I don't even know. I mean, again, here I'm going to surprise everybody and tell you, like, there was a show called Sherlock that they did, that he's in New York City in the year 2015 or whatever it was. Now, I didn't hate that show, and I'll tell you why. because it was obviously trying to make a different version of it. When you're making it in New York in 2015 or whatever it is, and even though he's talking to a Dr. Watson that's an Asian woman, I mean, does it make a whole lot of sense? Like, is it really like staying true to the material? Not really. But the second you're doing it in modern day, anyways, and he's just kind of like almost Sherlock Holmes just by name, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
something that I
Was
can
that
accept.
was that was that Elementary? Was that the name of that show?
Elementary, yes. So even though that one did the things that I usually don't like, I didn't mind it so much because it wasn't trying to say that it was happening in the 1800s. Having this kind of like, swapping and all these kind of like, initiatives to do the modern audience thing. If you're going to make it in modern times, if he like, he was, let's say he would go to this police station, and the police station, you had like the captain or whatever, and like the captain's, number, your right hand man was like a black guy. Totally makes sense that in New York in 2015 there would be a black guy working at the New York Police Department. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like if you're making an adaptation that has sort of its own character makeup and clearly isn't the original material itself. It's adapted into something different, that you can make those kind of changes without fundamentally changing the story and changing the material itself. If you're doing an adaptation and you're changing the setting and you're putting it in a different place, it makes it okay to cast characters differently than they were in the original.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody's watching the elementary one, and I'm sorry, Sherlock. Okay, what started was you had one with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman in London, which was a modern day Sherlock Holmes. Uh, they did that, and I think that people here in the U.S., like the network CBS, saw it and said, "Hey, we'd love to make something like that here in New York City." And I think initially they reached out to like I don't know if it was Moffat who made that one, that Sherlock one. I could be wrong. I thought that Moffat had something to do with it. In any case,
Maybe I don't remember.
did Stephen Moffat have something to do with it? It's a late hour, and I could be wrong. Somebody check and tell me if Stephen Moffat had something to do with Sherlock in the BBC. In any case, bottom line is they originally reached out to the guy. I think it was him that was making the British one, the English one, and and then they said to him, "Hey, we want to do something in CBS." But then they stopped talking to him, and the reason is that probably some lawyer told them, "You don't have to be talking to this guy. Sherlock Holmes is not copyrighted anymore. I think you can just use it, and you don't have to ask anybody." And whether or not it's in modern day or whatever you're doing in New York, it all doesn't matter. Like nobody gives a shit. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. And, sorry, Sean. And then they said, "Oh, great! So fuck that guy." And then they never talked to him. I think it was Stephen Moffat. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
And, and
Moffat and Gaddis were the co-creators of that
yeah,
show.
I told you. See,
Yeah,
Professor, you think I'm a weirdo, but sometimes I have my moments. You know what I mean?
that's me. I always think Price is a weirdo.
That's what. And
Yeah.
you're right. You're right to think that. So in any case, they said, "Okay, fuck them. We don't need like Gaddis and Moffat. Fuck them." And then they said, "Okay, we'll do our own thing." And instead of doing it in England with like Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, they took Johnny Lee Miller or whatever his name is that was in Train Spotting. I think he was
Hmm.
Sick Boy in Train Spotting, and also I think he was once married to Angelina Jolie, when she was her hottest. To be fair,
Who wasn't?
what'd you say?
Who wasn't at one point married to Angelina Jolie?
I mean, but she was like
I'm just kidding.
at her
I'm
prime. I
just
don't think a lot of people were married to her in her prime, but he
no.
was. I think it was him, and I think he was married to her. In any case, he played Sherlock, in this kind of New York, living in New York. It wasn't the worst show. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't hate it. I knew exactly what it was. I knew it wasn't faithful to the thing. I knew it was something completely different. But like I said, there's no expectations. He's working and helping the NYPD in 2015 or whatever it was. There's no reason for me to have any animosity towards it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So in that case, like I think that if they wanted to do this kind of, oh, look, we're doing it for modern day audiences, at least there was something legitimate to work with. The other thing is there have been so many versions of this Sherlock Holmes. There was meanwhile running like other versions were running at the same time. So they had their interpretation. He's in New York, he's a former like, addict or whatever it is. Now he's helping the NYPD. Lucy Liu, who I've always kind of been fond of, she plays like Watson, which is dumb, but again, I like her. And to be honest with you, for the most part, this felt like he was Sherlock in name only for the most part. So I didn't mind it. You have a decent cast, you have like a decent production team making it. There were some mysteries, didn't hate it, but that's a very rare thing. Like with the Odyssey, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and back to this thing, this Enola Holmes thing. I want to be I am a very inclusive guy. In spite of what you think of me, Professor, I'm super inclusive. I'm a very very inclusive guy. I just think it's strange that Dr. Watson in the 1800s is it's from Pakistan, and I know that that's a terrible thing for me to say, but it looks like it's strange. You know what I mean? It doesn't ring true.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't fit. You're just supposed to accept it, right? You're just supposed to say, "Oh no, of course." Every part of history, every city in every country has always looked like downtown Seattle, and you're never ever supposed to question it, right? That's what they want, right?
See,
Because if you question it, then
this is
you're an
Dr.
Islamophobe
Watson.
and a racist. Yeah.
This is I guess maybe he was already in number 2. I don't even remember. I guess I didn't even.
Oh, I think we had a platform problem there.
No, it was a Price of Reason is
It was
silly
a
and kind
price of reason
of a
problem.
problem.
Oh,
I shut the thing down. I guess that he appeared in the second part, or maybe he only appeared in the end credit scene. I don't even know, or maybe in the second part. But man, I don't know. I mean, I want to be a good guy. You know what I mean? Like I want to be a good guy, but like it just seems odd. Like he doesn't seem like he would be him.
yeah. Agreed.
Show you a picture of what he looks like in the third one because I think here's another thing. I'm going to get in trouble here because I don't know how to explain this in a nice way. I feel like in the second one they made him like from Pakistan or whatever it is, but they kind of tried to like at least give him an appearance that's more sort of like uh polished or something. By the time the third one came around, it's like he's even more from Pakistan. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yes.
Like
It,
they made like they wanted to highlight that even more. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's the best
yes.
way to like in the second one they're like, well, let's kind of do it and try to make it like, that it's more kind of like covert. Although it was very difficult to do that. But in the second one they were kind of doing a low profile. Whereas
Yes.
in the first one they were like, in the third one they're just like, let's go all in on this.
Oh, why do I have this picture up here? Oh, that's because the same guy is on the right in this picture playing a Greek soldier.
Ah, that is so that I didn't even know. You know what I mean? I didn't even know. I was just explaining to you, and you know what? This guy being a Greek soldier is even weirder than him being Dr. Watson, to be honest. And I'm not trying to be mean. I really don't know much about this actor. He could be a terrific actor. You know what I mean? Maybe he's great. I'm not trying to throw like people under the bus. If you had, let's say, like a modern day detective story, and he's a member of the cast or whatever it is, or I don't know, whatever you know, he's one of the main cast members and he's solving a crime. I don't have an issue if the guy's a good actor. Absolutely, give him roles and let him do stuff. It's just like in the 1800s and then in this like an ancient like in this in Greece like this all seems very weird to me, Professor.
Georgia Cyrex says he's just there for tech support. No, I think he does that. They do that by mail back in the Greek days, or I don't know. But anyway,
So I can't believe it. I didn't know that
Same
he was in
guy,
both.
same
Same
guy.
guy. That's a guy. That's
He
their guy
plays a
now.
Greek soldier sitting there right next to Odysseus. Yes, Hamish Patel.
Well, Ron Donofrio says diverse is one thing, bad casting is something else. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't know. He could be a great actor. It's just, it's hard for me to take it seriously. Like, it felt so out of place. And they already, from that first Enola Holmes, like, were planting a lot of different things. Like, I think there was like an African American maid that taught her kung fu or something. I could be mistaken. I haven't watched that recently. I feel like in the first movie, an African American maid taught her kung fu. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. Somebody's can go Google it. I know how weird that sounds, and there's nothing for me to say except for somewhere in my memory banks, I remember something strange, like that she was taught by somebody to fight or something. That was like who trained her. So yeah, that's Enola Holmes. That's what I have
Sorry.
to say. And
The whole
and
the very idea. Like, oh yeah, she was taught martial arts by an African
okay,
maid.
okay. You know what? You talk for a second. I'm going to go to AI now. I have to check this out. Okay.
Oh
Uh,
no.
uh, was Enola Holmes taught to fight by an African American woman? Let's see. Uh, okay. Do you want to see the answer?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. I feel like I remembered some parts of it, but didn't know. No, Enola Holmes was primarily taught to fight by her mother, Eudoria Holmes, played by Helena Bonham Carter. However, your memory is likely tracking a prominent black character in the films named Edith Grayston, played by black British actress Susan Wokoma. Her
Mhm.
role, Edith is a fierce jujitsu master. Are you with me?
I'm there. I'm here.
You fierce jujitsu master. People thought that I was crazy. I told you that I remembered it. You're like thinking Price is really off his rocker this time, and I told you I remembered there was a lady. And from what I recall, I could be wrong, but I don't recall her also being like looking like she's super fit, like she'd be that jujitsu master, but I could be wrong. And a leader in the underground women's suffrage movement. All of this happening in like a Sherlock Holmes story. She runs a London tea shop that serves as a front for a secret martial arts dojo. I fucking told you, Professor. I told you that she was. This is even worse than I described to you. You know what I mean? Here, Enola's relationship.
Uh,
While Eudoria is Enola's primary instructor. I wasn't even wrong. AI said, no, you're not wrong. I am absolutely right. I said it. I was right. The AI is wrong. The AI is stupid. I'm right, and the AI is wrong. Edith is a close ally of her mother. She acts as a pragmatic combat mentor and maternal figure to Enola once the young detective arrives in London. Uh, Real history inspiration. Okay, this is good. Edith's character is based on Edith Garud, or Jarud, or whatever it is, a real life historic figure who famously taught jujitsu to Western suffragettes, a defense tactic nicknamed suffragitsu, so they could defend themselves against police. This is so strange. I don't know anything. I never heard of this character, and I think this is all very weird, Professor. By the way, you want to see
it's interesting.
what Edith Garud looks like?
Yeah, I just looked at a picture. Oh, that's the real Edith.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
doesn't look very
It's
not the most diverse
No.
lady in the,
No.
you know.
So we're taking a real human being
Yes.
and replacing that real human being with a different human.
They basically wanted to use a historical figure, but since the historical figure wasn't diverse enough, they changed the last name and made it so that she's diverse. And again, I don't know anything about this lady, but did she really have her own dojo, or she was like a master? Plus, like, I again, I don't remember. What was the actress's name? What was the let's see.
Susan Wacoma.
Okay.
And no, she is not
Let's see.
as
Susan
as
Okoma.
Edith is described, tiny, athletic, and highly skilled jujitsu instructor.
Okay, are
Uh,
you ready? Are you ready to see her?
yes, I've already seen her, so let's.
So this is the instructor of Enola Holmes who teaches her jujitsu. And I want to make it clear this is not some parody. I'm not making it up. I'm not inventing this. This is not some AI. This is coming from IMDb. This is the martial arts jujitsu instructor of Enola Holmes in the 1800s. So make of that what you will.
When is that? When is this supposed to take this show? The
Uh,
Enola Holmes show. When is it
when
supposed
is
to
it
take
supposed to
place?
take place? Let's see. When is Enola Holmes set? Uh, it takes place in the first one in 1884, the second one in 1888, and the third one in 1886. That doesn't even make any sense. How is it that that none of that makes any sense to me? But whatever.
Interesting.
So in the late 1800s, that's basically what's happening. I don't think that there would be African. I can't say
No,
African American, but I don't think there would be like an African American jujitsu instructor in the 1800s in London.
no. There was the actual woman, but that wasn't until the 1900s.
Right,
That
and
was another
she
30
wasn't
years
diverse.
later, 40
So
years later. Yeah.
they completely. This was a complete repurposing of everything just to
It's like
be. What were you going to say?
it's like what was the Assassin's Creed Sasuke character?
Yasuke, yeah, they
Yasuke, that's it. Yeah, Yasuke.
totally
Where they,
totally Yasuke the whole thing.
it's like, oh, there's like this one news article. There's there was this lady that did this thing. No, now it's no, there was this one story, this one line, and one thing that talked about how there was a black man in Japan. So we're going to make sure he was a samurai of the highest order. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yep, all very strange stuff, Professor. And then her husband owned the dojo that the Japanese master Yunishi started. She taught the women and children. Is that the real one or the one in Sherlock Holmes? I don't even
I
know.
think that's the real one. Yeah. I mean, she was a real figure. She did actually teach women, self defense and stuff back in the day. She was
Somehow Asians were extremely protective of their martial arts and even fought with Bruce Lee over training in the 1960s, trained an African American only 15 years removed from slavery. It's all very strange. By the way, the Chinese apparently, and this is allegedly, were not happy initially, or not even at all, that Bruce Lee was doing those movies and sort of bringing martial arts to a Western audience. I think that they didn't like it. And some people have speculated that perhaps that had something to do with his rather mysterious early death. Although, of course, I don't know
yes.
anything about that. I'm just saying that
No. Wouldn't know anything about that.
I wouldn't know anything. All I know is this, is that, according to the, I guess, medical records or whatever or whatever the story, he died in China. So the story that the public were told, which probably true, I'm assuming that this is 100% true. They said that he had a headache, he took a Tylenol and died. I think that was the explanation that we got for Bruce Lee. Kind of strange. I mean, I guess anybody, anything can happen to anybody. It's just kind of a strange, it's a strange turn of events, if you know what I'm saying.
It is it always has been a bit suspicious. Seems a bit strange.
Because
Yeah.
on the one hand, and this is allegedly, there were some parties that felt that maybe they needed to get a cut of the money that he was making. On the other hand, there were some people that were unhappy that he was even making this thing. And then on the other hand, he went to China. He doesn't come back from China, and it is explained that he had a headache, took Tylenol, and passed away. Now, it could be that everything is above board, and you never know. That's the problem with these things, that you never 100% know. I want to believe that this is above board and that story is 100% accurate. That's what I think the official government explanation there, and I want to believe that they absolutely explained it exactly as things took place.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm certain that everything was above board and everything was
And it is weird.
exactly as they stated. Sure.
And some people are like, and I see in the chat thought that, his son died under strange circumstances as well. I want to believe that nothing here is connected and there was nothing malicious there, but I will say that it made me very sad, and it always makes me very sad to think of what happened to Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow. Not only was he great in the movie, which by the way took me years to watch. I didn't want to watch it for years because it made me sad that he died like while making it. But at the end, I did end up watching it, and I thought he was really good in it. Such a careless mistake. I mean, we only saw it. The only other time we've seen a mistake like this was that whole Baldwin situation. If you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's sad about him. I would hope that there was nothing malicious done by anybody, but it is very sad whatever happened to him. And yeah, I mean, it could be that the only other option with Bruce Lee, and this could be one of the stories that I sometimes hear, is that sometimes people used to like challenge him. So everywhere he goes, he walks on the street, you have like a bunch of people, they all want to fight him all day. And then maybe while he was fighting, some people say maybe he like somebody hit him in the head, and then like initially it seemed fine, but the reason why like later maybe somebody hit him in the head in a place which was like a problem, and later that took its effect, and that's why he collapsed. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say. Such speculation. I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Could have been something
Yeah.
else. Maybe he was, maybe there were a few people that had some issues with him, and a gang of like kung fu fighters ambushed him. I'm not saying they did. I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
all we can do is take their word for it. And he didn't die. Even on U.S. soil, I don't always know that you can take the word for everybody. But in China, I think, especially circa the 70s, I think that it's probably even more difficult to take. You know what I'm trying to say.
Understood.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so I didn't like the Kodo Rob says I didn't like the Bruce Lee scene in Once Upon in Hollywood, Brat beating him up. It was meant to be funny. I didn't mind it. If Elliot Page is tough man, why? I don't even understand the question, but yeah. You know what? I also am very worried now to play clips and stuff like that. I ran into a clip on YouTube just accidentally. I was just looking at stuff, and it got recommended something with like Craig Ferguson. Now, Craig Ferguson, when he had his show, he's interviewing the former Elliot Page, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like Elliot before Elliot was Elliot. So you look at that video, and it's like it feels like you're looking at a different human being. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to try to figure out how this person became that person, and honestly, it doesn't feel like it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm trying to say, like it seems so odd. And by the way, at the time when they were being interviewed, very feminine, very kind of laughing and chuckling and like very likable. You look the same person is like talking kind of erratically and strange now. It just feels really strange to me.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Um well, I don't want to say too much, but I'll say mental illness is like that.
And in this specific case, it very much feels like very. It's sad because I don't know. It felt like, this actress, formerly actress, had a lot going on. I don't understand it. It's just strange to me. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that people, I don't know. I can't speak for other people or say what they
Yeah.
say. It just, to me, it seems odd.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? As an adult human being, uh, that is their choice. Uh, uh, However, at the same time, I have real issues with the the demands around it, right? The societal demands around it, that suddenly now we are supposed to now think this person was never existed before. This is a different person now, or they never were who they were before. All of the demands around it, that you now fully accept this, and now that there's a transformation that's taken place, that is literally impossible, but we're supposed to accept it. It's very strange, and it's and the constant preaching about it and everything doesn't make it any easier.
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make it easier, and it's just strange to me. Um, I mean, listen. At the end, people have a right, if they're adults, to do whatever they want. It just seems like, she. I don't know. I'm allowed to say whatever the thing was, had a lot going for it. Uh, this person had a lot of stuff going for it, and I don't
Yes.
think that this was the right path. But that's my personal opinion.
And yeah, uh, I don't know how. I've seen numerous videos, posts, people talking about, oh, look how happy he is. He's so that this is what this is why the Transformers are a thing. And I watch the videos and I'm like, I do not see a happy person. I'm sorry, I don't see someone who's happy and living their best life. I don't see it. I just don't. I don't know what they're seeing there. I honestly see someone that looks like they are really struggling to keep it together.
I tend to agree. It's just, don't know what to say. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that maybe if it's a person that you've never met before, and then they're just doing that, you don't really know what happened before, so maybe you don't realize it. But when it's somebody that's in the public eye that decides to do it, it just shows you how strange the whole thing is, kind of, in some odd way. I know everything I said was probably like, not sensitive and I'm a douche, but yeah, that's, I guess, the best way I could explain it. So we
Yeah.
got another super chat from the Dead Man 79, who has a great channel where he talks about Star Trek. Why is all the rum gone? I guess that's a reference to the rum.
Rum.
Hey, Mr. Brown, how's it going? We have a lot of cool people watching our stream. Mr. Brown is a friend of the channel.
Yes.
If you're not already following him or subscribing to him and all that stuff, you should do it, because he has a great channel and he does a lot of cool shit. That's what I have to say about that. What else?
Yeah.
How did we get here, Professor?
Well, we've kind of wandered around all over the place. There was a there was a natural transition in there at one point, but that's okay. We can go back to it. The Odyssey.
The Odyssey. Yeah, we were talking about the artist formerly known as Ellie Page.
Yep. And we talked about the the Indian Pakistani gentleman, whatever,
Yeah, right,
who
was
was in
somehow-
Enola Holmes and is also somehow a Greek soldier in the Odyssey.
I feel like they have a short list for when they need to like fill that position of like, when they want to do like some woke swap. They're just like, let's call this guy. And you know what? I don't hate anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know the guy. Maybe he's a good actor, and I don't hate anybody. And they need work. They're being offered work. I've said before, if Bob Iger walked into my living room right now and said, "I'm making Snow White Part 2, but you're replacing Rachel Zegler. Here's a check for $5 million." I will put on that Snow White dress. I'll sing the songs. I'll put the stupid bob wig on. I'll walk around. I'll do whatever it is for $5 billion. I will be Snow White in Snow White Part Two. I mean, everybody's gonna have a field day with this on the internet. I'll never hear
Yeah.
the end of it. It'll be like an ongoing meme fest of, like, epic proportions never seen before, like, something that nobody has ever seen before, ever. It'll be like the break the internet level of, like, strangest, like, nonstop videos, like, 24/7 about it. And, and I would still take the $5 million, you know what I mean? I can just shut down my computer, and say, "Fuck it. Here's my $5 million. I'm going to hang out on this island, use my money, and that's it." And people think it's funny. Let them do memes from now until the end of time while I like sip on this pina colada on this island or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so I can't blame these actors. They're getting gigs. Like it's a Christopher Nolan movie, or in this case, it's a movie. It has like Henry Cavill in it. It has, you know, to a lesser degree, it has like Millie Bobby Brown. But this guy is trying to build his resume. You know, he's being offered these type of roles. What's he going to do? No, no, don't give me the money. No, they'll take it. Okay, I'm Watson. Of course, I'm a Greek soldier. Of course, for the right price. You're giving me a check. Of course, I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, Six will lose all respect for me. You know what? When I get the 5 million, Six, I'm gonna find out where you are, and I'm gonna show up in like a limo and take you to, yes, I'll have my own island. I'm gonna take you to my island, Six, and we can just sit there and you can buy whatever you want and eat food and I don't know what. And then maybe you'll have some respect for me again. So yeah, that's what I have to say about all of that. I don't hate the actors. They didn't do anything wrong to me. In the case of Paige, I'll just say that it's not even a matter of like, you know, I feel sad that this person was misled in the way that they were, thinking the things that they do with a system that enables them to do and persuades them to do things that they probably shouldn't be doing. This is my opinion. I can't say, you know, if you're a, you know, an adult and you've made decisions, you can make those decisions, but that's what I have to say. Fantasy, welcome to Price of Reason Island. I'm clipping. Six says I'm clipping that for the day I get. Okay, good to know. Uh, You know, until this whole like Jeffrey Island man thing, I always wanted to get an island. You know what I mean? I always thought, how cool is it? You have your own island. But now, like they've ruined that. You know what I mean? Now and now, if you tell people I want my own island, everybody looks at you funny. Like, yeah, it's no longer a cool thing to you know to want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now it sounds really creepy. It's not like the lap of luxury, right? Now it's like, what are you doing on that island you don't want other people to see?
Right. Why would you want an island
Why
by
would you want
yourself?
that?
What are you going to do on this island? These are questions that nobody used to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who
Uh,
are you inviting to that island, and why?
you know what I also want to do? I like this is my dream, although it's unreasonable and I don't know how to accomplish it. But I want to I want to get my own island and start my own country. And kind of like, you know, just make sure that there's really great people on this island and that's it. Like if you're not a member, if you're not like a citizen of this thing, you can't go there. And like it's really tough to become a citizen. I have to personally agree that you're like a citizen. That's how that's how the island works. This doesn't sound very good, Professor. I don't think I'm getting out of this very nicely, but it's an island where I decide who the citizens are, and I'm putting together a nice like community, and that's it. Like once the community is locked in, maybe there's no other people that can join. You know, we decide. I'm already bringing you on board. You know, we decide on a certain amount of people that are allowed to be there, and that's it. And after that, there's no more. You know, whatever happens on the island, that's the crew, that's the people that we have there. And everything is really because that way, maybe there's certain elements or certain, you know, people like maybe you know, if we I know how bad this sounds. This is awful. But if there's certain people that we think are bad, maybe we don't put them there, you know?
They're not allowed.
They're not allowed. And the only person that that decides if they're good or bad is me. Like I sit there, no, no, not good, not good. This all sounds like a recipe for disaster. Like
Well,
this is,
I mean, if you're going to be king, you already got the crown, I suppose.
I do have the crown. But the other thing is, I don't know anybody that's going to want to live on this island. I'm going to be sitting there like by myself. I'm going to be like Tom Hanks in that movie that he talks to the soccer ball or whatever it is. Wilson. I
So
watched that movie.
Price
What
wants to take open the Principality of Sealand is what he wants to do. You ever heard of that place?
Sea World. What's Sealand?
No. Sea Land. So
What's Sealand? I don't know what that is.
There's a sea fort that was built during World War II. So it's actually it's this fort that's built out. It's 7 miles off the coast of England, I think, and it was built there as for like anti-aircraft fire and stuff like that. Like it was an emplacement to use for defense, but it was built out there during World War II, and then later on. some guy went out there, took it over, and then just said, "I'm my own country. Everyone get out." And just announced like that he was running this thing as his own little principality, and he was the royalty of his little country. Let's see. I want to see if I can find it real quick now.
I mean, I think that there's no other choices. The only way we can save humanity is by getting our own island, and we can do like a Noah's Ark. But the Noah's Ark, instead of like there being a storm, Noah's Ark just arrives at this island, and then whatever's on this island is on this island. You know what I mean? 2 giraffes, 2 elephants, 2 night owl hosts.
Here's Sealand. Okay, there you go.
2 supermodels. What? This is Sealand.
This is Sealand. This was, as I said, the guy determined that this would be his little micro nation that he lived in. Mark D was talking about it in the chat. Yeah. Nobody actually recognized it as a country, and eventually, like, it became a problem, I guess, because they were using it for some illegal stuff out there at one point, and yeah, I know there was a pirate radio station. There were some other legal issues with the UK. They wanted to host servers for Pirate Bay or stuff like that out there, so that they were legal. It's weird.
Phantom Outsider says, whatever you do, Price of Reason Lie, do not let anyone sell you an island off the coast of Brazil. That's Snake Island and loaded with poisonous snakes. Okay,
cool.
I'll make sure of that.
Yeah, we'll not be buying Snake Island.
The funny thing is, I don't even have. I think I have enough money to buy like an island toy at like Target. If there's like a toy that looks like an island, that's probably like the best you can do now. Oh well, it was a good idea though. So yeah, has there been anything new? I think that one of the things I'll say about Christopher Nolan and the Odyssey is leading up to this release. He like is so pompous and full of himself, and at no point is he willing to let go of that. Like anytime that he sees any kind of like conflict or any kind of confrontation, or somebody tries to say something, he doubles down, he triples down. It's like it takes it to the next level of like, I don't even need these people. It's irrelevant to the conversation. And then they like block all of social media. You can't answer, you can't post. Like nothing phases this guy. He's releasing his movie. He's like, people are going to warm up to it. I don't know what like they're saying. And you just thought like the question is, when this movie comes out, I think the first weekend is going to do well. But do you think that his future weekends afterwards are going to be as strong as some of those like Oppenheimer and those kind of movies, The Dark Knight? I don't think so. I don't think this movie is going to be as strong.
No, not at all. So earlier, we had Nick, Backyard TARDIS, was in the chat. He was saying like, thinking this was going to do pretty well because, all of these IMAX theaters, they're all sold out, for like 20 days or something. So just to address that, yes, there are these big sold out showings that for like 2 weeks. Here's the thing though. Those are specifically 70 millimeter IMAX theaters. There's only 30 of them in the United States. The vast majority of people cannot even get a ticket to one of those, nor would they drive 3 states over to get to one, right? Most of the showings of this are going to be in regular sort of standard, like the AMC IMAX theaters, some people call them fake IMAX theaters, whatever. They're not quite true IMAX, but they're also not, they don't have the 70 millimeter screens. There's only a handful of those in the US. There's only like 45 of them in the world. So yeah, those are sold out because people are, think it's so super special for them to get to see the movie in 70 millimeter. It's going to be, the best possible experience. So a lot of those were sold a year ago, right? They were saying, these are going to be super limited, they're crazy limited. And I guarantee you more than a handful of those are in the hands of scalpers who, if they can't unload the pictures, or unload the tickets, they're definitely not going to go see this movie, right? So yeah, there's a lot of those things, but if you look at a lot of other shows, look at my showing, no, there's nothing sold out in the showing that I'm going. There's plenty of seats, right? But yes, the first weekend I think is going to do really well. I think come on. I mean, we do have to say, right? It is Christopher Nolan. He does have kind of a rep, right? People like him. People like his movies. Why they, are so crazy for his movies, I really couldn't tell you. He's had a few really good ones and a few mediocre ones and some others that were terrible. But yeah, he's got this, popularity and so people want to go see his movie. Yeah. So the first weekend, yes, I think is going to do really, really well. But I do not see this having a long tail. I don't see this performing very well. First of all, there's going to be a lot. I think there already, as we're starting to get some of the social media reactions from people, the early out of the theater reactions, I do not think this is going to have good word of mouth. It is not going to have solid word of mouth going forward. I think people are going to say it's going to be long. It's boring. It's odd. I've already heard a few different reactions, people talking about how having all of the characters speaking modern English in the film just takes you out of it completely. It's very weird having it that way, right? And so there's some things I think they're definitely going to be working against this. Plus, let's just say, okay, this is going to be a long movie. It's going to be a long movie just like Oppenheimer was long, right? But Oppenheimer had the whole Barbenheimer effect going for it, right? There were a whole lot of people who were out there to see it because of the meme, because of, we're all kind of, we're going to go see it. It's this experience, whatever. So we're going to do this Barbie Oppenheimer thing, whatever. This has none of that. There is nothing that is going to help perpetuate this like they did for Oppenheimer. And again, it's a long movie. It means it gets fewer showings in the theaters. If it has bad word of mouth after the first week, a lot of people are going to say, oh man, I'm not going to go see. I'm not going to the theater for 3 hours to see a movie that people didn't like. So they're going to wait for streaming on that. So no, there's no way this is doing the same kind of numbers that we saw with Oppenheimer. It doesn't have the meme, doesn't have the culture stuff going for it, and it's too long. Yes, it's going to sell out the first week. It's going to have a lot of people going to see it in 70 millimeter, but overall, long term, I think this is going to fall off pretty fast over the second and third weekends, especially if it does get the bad word of mouth that we're already starting to see. So I'm
Yeah.
still saying, and if you look at Oppenheimer, we were talking about 8.5, I think, million or 830 million. What was Oppenheimer?
I thought it was closer to $1 billion. I thought it was 900 and something. I could be wrong.
Okay, it was 976. Okay, so
It's a lot of money to
a
make. Yeah.
lot of that, 2/3 of that was international box office. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how well that plays out. But I still think that this is going to struggle to get past 600. It's going to have a huge opening weekend, and I think beyond that, it's not going to have the buzz to get people back into the theaters weekend after weekend that would be necessary to keep, getting big money from this film.
By the way, at some point, I was considering doing this, but I'm so tired today that I feel like I'll be wasting it, and maybe I shouldn't even do it. I thought since it's the 250 anniversary to tell like a weird celebrity story that I never told before. Uh, but if I'm so tired, then maybe I won't tell it well, you know? So that's a big dilemma. It's one that you've never heard either, Professor. Like it's
Oh
one
no!
that
Well,
I
it is the 250th episode.
that's why I thought. I always
there
thought to
should
myself,
be great stories.
I always thought to myself, if I make it to the 250th episode of the Night Owl, maybe I should tell this story. It's such a strange story too, and what like it's just a weird, baffling story. I don't know if it'll seem baffling to anybody else, except for me, but it is a strange story. I'll say that. So deadline. The Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey to begin epic journey with around 200 million worldwide, which is fine. That's I think to be expected. Christopher Nolan, high profile movie, star-studded cast, all of that. Sure, or at least some of them are stars. I mean, some of them are like a bit iffy, but you know what I'm trying to say. High profile movie for sure. In any case, they're thinking, 200 million plus. Even if it starts that, it needs really a lot of legs to get to 976 million. It's not going to make that money. And if this
No.
movie costs like $250 million to make, they need to make at least, and I'm probably being very generous, very, very generous, at least 625 million. Man.
Oh, well, but we know that they've spent at least 150, 200 million on marketing alone,
Right.
because they got this world tour and all this other stuff that's going with it. So there, when you start to look at it, it's the break even is closer to 7 or 8. 7 or 800 million just for them to be able to say, yeah, this actually made money. So, yeah, I'm sure it's going to get great word of mouth from the access media, right? There's going to be tons of stories about it. Oh, here's why it's the biggest movie of the year, whatever. Here's why you need to go see it, blah, blah. It's already started with that, right? We're going to keep seeing that. But the actual, the real word of mouth from actual viewers, I don't think is going to be that positive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said.
Yep.
Coda Rob 22 says the Sydney Sweeney story, right? I wish I had a Sydney Sweeney story. I wish that was the story I had to tell. Sydney Sweeney is significantly younger than me. Even if she were my age, I don't think that I would I don't think that I would be the main interest she would have. I don't see a situation where I have a Sydney Sweeney story. So I'm very grateful that you even envisioned, even as a joke, that I would have one, but fortunately, no. Sydney Sweeney is dating a guy that has like billions of dollars or something, and I suppose that's what you do when you're Sydney Sweeney.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how these things work, but I guess ladies, even though
Isn't he dating? Isn't like a music executive or something?
yeah, he's a guy. He like discovered Justin Bieber or something, and then made money off of that.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
Scooter. That's who it is.
Scooter, yeah.
Scooter Braun.
Yes, yes. It bothers me that his name is Scooter, and
A grown man going by Scooter.
Grown man is called Scooter, has like over $1 billion, and Sydney Sweeney. Too much for me to have to process here. but that is the truth. Gotta give my props to Scooter though. Uh,
Indeed.
by the way, has anybody seen Phantom Monk? I haven't seen him in a minute. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh, I don't know. Haven't seen him.
Hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Dude Rosef or Darren or one of you guys, if you're in touch with him, let me know. I don't know what happened to him. Kind of disappeared. In any case, yeah. So I think this is the part where the industry is blowing smoke up everybody's ass at this point. It's fine. Uh, what else was on our docket, Professor? You know what? The thing with Moana. I just want to say this. Let me see for a second. Moana.
Well, you're looking that up. I was going to say, Price, I was mentioning Sealand. This is something that I learned about like 20 years ago. Uh, apparently, I was looking some stuff up. 60 Minutes did a story on Sealand just 2 days ago. It's like, what? That's still a thing?
I
Apparently.
guess it's a popular location. I want to tell you one thing about Moana. I didn't have a lot of time, and I said to myself, "This feels like a movie that I can just not go see." And the Critical Drinker will probably put a review up, and I feel like if I watch his review, it'll save me the time, and like it'll be as if I watched it, and he'll just make all the points, and I can move on. And man, he didn't disappoint. I saw that he posted a review. I clicked on it. He explained everything. I mean, I pretty much knew what would be bad about it, but I feel like he articulated very well all the problems with the movie, even with me not seeing it. And I really felt after watching his video that I had seen it, if that makes sense. Like I didn't need to see it because he explained what was wrong with it, and I totally got it. Like,
Yep.
thought it was a good explanation. And yeah, I mean, just even seeing the footage of The Rock in this thing with the wig and whatever, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and like a muscle suit on top of, like, it doesn't look like him.
Right. I mean, in the past, he used to have his own muscles, but now I guess he needs somebody to paste them on him or something.
Well, I think part of it was, of course, if you in the original, the original animated feature, the musculature of that character was rather exaggerated, right? Of course, he was also, different shape, different body. But I think that was the point, was like to make him look sort of beyond reasonable, like he's bigger and than a real human being would be, but it looks silly. I think it looks rather goofy.
Yeah. Uh, I think it's funny that some people in the chat are saying that they think they saw Phantom Monk watching Supergirl again, which is why we no longer see him anymore. Six says, I can't form my own opinion, so I just watched Drinker's review and adopted it as my own. I did 100% do that. I very rarely, it's not that I'm saying that about every movie. I generally wanted to see it. I just didn't have time. And in this case, I'm like, come on, this thing is doing poorly. It probably sucks. Let's just look. Because a lot of times, I didn't explain this well, but a lot of times there will be a movie that interests me to see it. So I don't actually want to watch Drinker's review, because if I'm reviewing it, especially, and I'm watching it and doing everything, I don't want anybody else's opinion even in my head. I want it to be fully like my own opinion. But I guess in this case, what I trying to explain is that I'm like, fuck it. Let's just watch his review. I'm sure like it'll
Like,
explain
I'm not going to waste my time with.
not going to waste it. He
crap.
already put in the time of effort. I can save the time. I don't have to go watch the movie. I don't have to make a video. I don't have to do anything. I can just look at this and move on. And that's what I was trying to say, that I'm just like, he did me a service by me not having to deal with it. I accept. Now, if some six may say, well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's the best movie and you didn't watch it for yourself. I'm going to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely going to take that risk, Six.
Yeah. Yeah, if you really, I mean, I assume you've seen the original animated feature. Or have you not?
I will tell you the truth. I did not watch the first one.
Okay.
And then what I thought I would have to do is I would have to watch the animated one. Then I'd have to go watch the theater one. Then I'd have to go make a video about it. and I'm like, man, this is too much to ask. It's too much. And I
Well,
clicked play, and it was fine.
yes. Should you ever decide that you need to watch this, the original animated one is fine.
Now go give the drinker a super chat. You know what? I may do that. If he's doing a stream at some point, maybe I'll go there and I'll leave a thing and I'll say it's all right. Thank you. I was gonna watch both versions of Moana and then do a review, but then I watched your video and I said, "Fuck it."
There you go.
That's gonna be my comment. I hope it all fits into like a $2 super chat.
That's all Price can afford is the $2.
Exactly. It'll be like the $2 super chat.
I
That's why it's
feel
funny
you.
that I was talking about like our own Noah's Ark Island before. But yeah. What else we have now James Gunn. I feel like we just keep rehashing the same things, but there's really not a lot else going on. It's just right. Oh, there is something. They said that Xolo Meridueña is going to be in the Blue Beetle is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. It's so random. Like
Who isn't going to be in Man of Tomorrow at this point?
Like again, why is there a Superman sequel again that there's 50 characters instead of Superman? Also very weird.
I mean, Superman, Lex, and then like the regulars around Superman, like Lois. You know, why do we have to have 70 million characters in the Superman film?
Now, just to be fair, I actually like Xolo Meridueña. I think he's a good actor. Like,
Same.
he's a likable actor. I think there was something that could be done with him, and he was very likable. Even in the Blue Beetle movie, which I didn't like, the only thing I could say that I liked is that I thought he was very likable. It's just that the screenplay for it, from what I recall, was terrible. To be fair, though, after watching something like Supergirl, suddenly that screenplay for Blue Beetle doesn't seem as bad as it was, even though that was a terrible movie. Unfortunately, we keep having this kind of hold my beer, hold my beer, hold my beer situation that everything I think is not so good or bad suddenly becomes better because something else comes along that's worse. And each time I think it couldn't get any worse, it actually gets worse. So Blue Beetle was not a good movie. It was not a good movie at all. It was really dumb. It was, I have a lot of criticism about it.
It was very. I mean, I don't even know that I would say it was a terrible movie. It was just cookie cutter. It was just like you've seen this movie a million times before. There was nothing special or interesting about it. I like Xolo. I think he's a good actor. I thought he was really great in Cobra Kai. Yeah, he was really enjoyable there. I thought he did a great job, especially coming in. Started that as a kid and then kind of growing on into the role and getting old. He did a great job. But yeah, no, it was just it was so very, very lackluster as a film.
It felt so kind of uninspired, like
yeah, that's a great word for it.
Going through the motions, uninspired. There was nothing special about it. I'm trying to see if I can find. I don't even remember what I gave it. You know what I mean? I don't remember what grade I gave it. Now I'm curious, like what I did. Trying to find it now.
He's blocked it out of your memory at this point.
It's crazy that I don't even remember. What did I do? Where was this thing? Okay. So, by the way, and I'll just play the intro because this is where the old intro. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos. Brum.
Hello there.
See, that's where I said brum. Like which way? I told you because I didn't have that noise, so I sang it because I didn't think this would actually be a theme song. It was supposed to be a one-time joke. In any case, this is me talking about how terrible the movie is, I guess. I'm wondering, did I give it a score? What score did I give it? Do I give it even a score? What do I do here? Here, let's see.
It may be worse than the Flash movie, which in and of itself was also a disaster. The only person I feel bad for here is Xolo Meridueña. He's generally a well-liked actor, and you could tell that he was excited about getting to lead a big-budget movie, but at no fault of his own, due to this movie's expected failure, he may not ever get another chance like this.
I was wrong. He will get another chance. He's going to be Blue Beetle again in James Gunn Man of Tomorrow. I didn't know that.
Opinion is a shame.
Didn't have that on my bingo
What
card.
did you think of Blue Beetle? Did you also think...
Did I not give a grade?
The
What
only
did I
sympathy
do?
for them. Now I think that so many eyes. Blue Beetle represents never
Oh.
by
I guess
a
at this
bunch
point,
of talent.
I
The only
didn't even
person
I
this
forgot to give
movie's
it a score, I
expected
guess. Oh, well. It is what it is. In any case, my opinion hasn't changed. Not a good movie. And at least, if nothing else, I thought he was likable. So the one thing I can say, Professor, is that I'm rather consistent. There's a person I don't want to throw this person under the bus. It's a person that's usually not very nice to me, and even though that person isn't nice to me, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. Are you with me, Professor?
Yeah.
It's a person that, has become quite known for his criticism of James Gunn and things like that. But initially, when Superman came out, this person was not as aggressive in his criticism. He was even kind of complimenting James Gunn. It's just that this person that I speak of, most people probably don't even know who this is or who I'm talking about. It's more something just in my own circle of people. But this person initially was very much on the Gunn train. He was riding the Gunn train, glazing the what do we have on a train? Glazing the rails, glazing the what do you have? What can you glaze on the train? I don't know. I'm looking for some kind of analogy here. Glazing the wheels, whatever it is. They were glazing the Gunn train. And then it turned out that people didn't like this movie so much. And this person went 180 degrees. Now it's like the opposite. He's like, he's the number one, revolutionary, attacking Gunn and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, when it came out, you were one of the glazers. You only became an unglazer, like a non-glazer, when you thought that it was somehow beneficial. You know what I mean? And if you're thinking to yourself, why are you telling me this story, Price? Then the reason I'm telling you this is that I'm very consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back and watch a video that I did about James Gunn, 3 years ago, or whenever he was, they said he was going to do the DC thing, every step of the way, every video you watch, every analysis I gave, pretty good stuff. Once in a while, maybe there's a rumor or something, and I said maybe I got it wrong. But I say for the most part, most of my reporting, most of my stuff, like you watch it, a number of years later, and it looks good again. Once again, because I'm consistent. I don't come out here and say like, oh, blah 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 blah, and then I think, oh, maybe I'll get a few clicks if I'll say this and this, and then I suddenly say something else. You know what I mean? I don't do that. And some people do that, and if they want to do that, that's fine. I don't want to throw them under the bus. I prefer myself not to do that. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Jason Webster says, like the panel discussion for the Greatest American Hero pilot episode, Price. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. And honestly, I had never watched The Greatest American Hero, so for me, it was something kind of new and different and very interesting to kind of watch and do a like this reaction thing with the panel. It was really fun. So yeah, and thank you for checking it out. Let me see if we have any more. Oh, we have, wow. We have 6 gave us a really nice super chat. 6, you didn't have to. Like, your friendship is enough for me. Although I do appreciate the super chat, but had you not given the super chat, I would have felt very positively about you regardless. I'm the only person on YouTube that feels bad when somebody gives them a super chat. But thank you so much. $25. Very, very generous of you, 6. I am very, very fond of 6. I feel like I don't stream with her really much, if at all, these days. I don't talk to her as much as I'd like, but I've always liked her, so there's that. Tell it. I think that what she means is, and this is her $25 super chat, is that I should tell the story with a celebrity, and I will. In this stream. I'm going to tell it. So now I guess this other thing that's going on now, it's like, oh, what's going to happen with James Gunn? Is there a chance that he comes back to do anything with DC? I know one thing, and I said it all the time. I said this, and again, I'm not going to start with the grok and all that stuff, even though I've done it before and you know that it's true. I'm the one that reported that basically after Superman had lost money, which none of the mainstream media were willing to accept, that there would be changes, and that effectively James Gunn, behind closed doors, in spite of all the praise, was kind of demoted. Because initially he was the head of DC. He could do whatever he wanted, but suddenly he couldn't do what he wanted. He couldn't do his Batman, which is why he went out and said that he's focusing on the Superman family. He started like shuffling around his narratives and spins and everything, because behind the scenes at the end, somebody has to give him a check like with money and say, here's $200 million, you can go make this movie. But if they're saying, hey, we don't want to give you that money and you're not making the movie, that's where there's a problem. Now, I have a lot of theories as to why they did that Man of Tomorrow, but I said at the time that, more than anything, I think that Zaslav wanted to create a business as usual approach. If he hadn't approved Man of Tomorrow, it would have looked like he's saying that the DCU was off to a bad start and that Superman failed. And a lot of efforts, resources, money was funneled into all these different places, in my opinion, allegedly, in order to make it seem like Superman was this huge success. Because when you're selling a company and you want billions and billions of dollars and you want to present that you're this big winner and you have like this huge franchise that's the DC, the fact that this franchise would be floundering after its first release and losing money at the box office is the exact opposite narrative that he wanted. And he was willing to do a lot for this not to be that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and to be quite honest with you, again, tooting my own horn here again, but yeah, I was early in explaining that there was something unnatural about the way that they're trying to protect this film, admitting that it failed. I guess what I'm saying is, in spite of everything that was going on for for appearances to the outside world, behind closed doors, there was no reason for them. They were not excited. I said it all the time. They were not excited. And there are some people that I really respect, people that I have so much respect for, people that are my friends and I like them. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. They love him. Everybody like behind closed doors is popping champagne at like Warner Brothers. And they want him. You want to give James Gunn the world. They love him. And I'm like, no, they don't love him. This isn't what they wanted. They don't love him. And this is all bullshit. And you know who was right, Professor, at the end? You know who was right? Me.
You. It was you. You were right.
It was me. It was me. All these people were wrong. And some of them close friends of mine and good friends of mine, people I respect. So I don't want to, I'm not, that's why I'm also not saying names, not throwing anybody under the bus. It's fine. It's fine sometimes. And like, I've said this before. It could be that there will be something in the future that I'm completely wrong on, and then somebody else will sit on their stream and say, "Oh, well, Price of Reason. Look what an idiot he was," and I'll be like, "Yep, that was me." In this one instance, I want to be able to hold on, to latch on to this. I don't want to use big words like victory or triumph. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to flash that around, Professor. I'm a humble guy.
The humble producer Price.
The producer Price. You know what's funny though? I saw something. I don't know where this video is, and I probably don't want to show it because it'll get me in trouble. But I saw like I don't know, in my feed, I got recommended some shill channels. These look like the 3 greatest shills in the history of shills, and they're like, man, I love the Odyssey. I saw an early screening. Wow. Or I don't know. They're like, maybe they haven't even seen it yet. And they're already like glazing it. It's like there are channels ready, willing, and able and prepared for the shill. You know what I mean? They're already there. The wheels of shill are in motion for this Odyssey thing. You're going to see some real shilling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's going to be some shilling.
There's going to be some shilling, and then once we start saying that it wasn't good, or if it suddenly says there was something in the box office, you know what's going to happen next. We're going to be blamed for everything. We ruined Nolan's movie.
Yeah, but we're gonna be blamed for the Lantern show because of the leak. We're gonna be blamed for that. They're gonna say that, this community got a hold of this leak before this show would have performed really well, but they ruined the surprise in the show.
You know what's so strange, and that's why I'm worried of even like mentioning it. This allegedly have gone to like people and like shut down channels and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
they've been brutal.
I don't know anything about this show. I haven't seen anybody talk about anything. I have no knowledge about anything. It's probably going to be the best show ever. I think The Lanterns is going to be the best show. Like, I think that what people were basically like, the information that was being leaked was that it's so good and that everybody's so excited. That's all I know. Don't know anything else. It's the best. Not even showing like a picture of it. I'm not even showing like the poster for that show. I want nothing to do with it. I mean, like, I've never heard of like the crazy, I don't know if you know, it's like crazy stuff is going on about people talking about it. It's like, you'd think that at this point, Warner Brothers would just let it go. Like, let it go. What do you want? What? People are saying it's going to suck. So maybe you just, what can you do now? You think that you're battling this? You think that you're going to cause people not to notice that it's about to be a shitty show? Sorry, Sean. So
and the ridiculous claims that they've made, trying to say, copyright this and that, whatever. It's wild, absolutely wild.
Yep.
No, we're always to blame. We're going to be to blame for the Odyssey. We'll be to blame for all of the other garbage that came out this year. It's our fault that that Supergirl was a disaster. It's our fault. If we just showed up and paid our money and gobbled up the slop, then the movie would have been a hit.
By the way, why was Six saying she's out? What did I do?
I don't know.
Hold on one second. I can't find it. She said like, I'm out.
All I wanted was the story.
Oh.
He says.
Sorry, Six. Why? Because I said she's wonderful? That's the bad part? I'm not going to take that back, Six. Did I say something bad? What did I do? Professor?
Well, you told the story?
Right. I didn't tell the story. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I will tell the story. I'm going to tell it in this stream. People that are watching this stream are going to hear the story. But I figured maybe to tell it around like, the 2-hour mark or something like that. But I will do it only because Six sent the $25 super chat. So stick around, Six. Oh, she gave me $25 to tell the 250 story. And I will tell the story. I will tell it. This is going to happen. She's going to get that story. Is she even here, or did she really run away? I'm so sorry, Six.
I don't know.
Six, come back. Like, when I tell the story, you won't even be here. You gave this wonderful super chat. You got to be here. In any case, what was I going to say? What else? So we were talking about this. Okay, so right now there's something going on that like Zack Snyder hasn't tweeted for about like 10 months or something, and he's tweeted because he's doing some event with Frank Miller. Did you see that?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it. Zack Snyder. Like out of the blue, the last time before that he like tweeted in September 2025, and then today he tweets this here, which is something that he usually doesn't do. So it says, can't wait to sit down with this absolute icon. The one and only Frank Miller Inc. is coming to LA for Frank Miller Storyteller, presented by How To Academy. I'll be in conversation with him at the Wilshire Ebell Theater this Saturday, July 18th at 7 p.m. If you love bold storytelling, you won't want to miss it. And then it shows the tickets. And I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I mean, at least he's still in the mix. He's sitting in an event like this doing something. Also, interestingly, they called him the director of 300. I mean, there's other movies he directed. It's strange that they. Why do you think that they focused on that one?
I don't know. I mean, it was fairly successful as a film.
Well, I mean, because I guess Frank Miller,
the Frank Miller connection there.
right, the Frank Miller connection. I guess that's what they were going for, probably. Because I mean, whether you like his DC movies or not, there were other things they could say. Like 300 is a very specific one, but yeah, it's a Frank Miller connection, I guess. So perhaps there's something there. But if nothing else, like, it's showing something. I don't know exactly what, but if nothing else is showing that like Zack Snyder is still sort of in the mix. Uh, I honestly think that the guy, uh, some people seem to think he's going to come in and do like 70 more DC movies. I suspect that's not the case. I think this is how I think it may play out. They'll do the thing Ellison, which by the way we'll get to that in a second. Ellison is running into more trouble with this all these attorney generals of states trying to battle him and all this stuff. But let's say he manages to take over this company, and let's say he manages to say I don't want James Gunn here, and he parts ways with him. There could be a scenario where they say, okay, let's make one movie. Let's make one movie. Also, before they maybe put it to rest for a few years, or maybe decide if they even want to relaunch it and when and how they're going to do it, one thing they could do is just kind of the throwback. They could give Zack Snyder one movie. And he is, like it or not, friends with a lot of those investors that invested money in this deal. I think that he has some pull, and maybe they'll say, here, make one movie. I don't know, the Dark Knight Returns. I don't know what he'll do. They'll do something. They'll throw in maybe Ben Affleck's Batman, maybe Henry Cavill's Superman. Who knows? They'll let him do a movie, one, and maybe they'll see how that movie does, or maybe they just give him a one-off. I don't know that he's going to be sitting there and doing like 70 movies after that. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
But I think that there is a possibility, something in the cards, that they'll give him a movie. I don't know why I think this, but I've thought this for a while, that one movie I feel like he's going to get. I can't tell you 100% sure. This is me being like 65 to 70% sure that I think he has a chance that they'll say, fuck it, let's give you one movie. Here, we spent all this money on all this shit that didn't work. We can just spend it on you. Here's a budget. Go make a movie, and let's see if a few people actually go see this. And they give him the money, makes the movie. If this movie suddenly does like amazing, like it, does like a ton of money and like stuns everybody, maybe there's more. If it just does okay, they'll be like, thanks, Zach. Like, it was nice seeing you. We'll see you around. If they're smart, they put this DC brand to kind of, lay dormant for about 5 years, and then they try to build something new at a later time. Let people forget about all this shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes people will miss something if they don't have it at least for like 5 years.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a film project.
Give it a break. Yeah.
Jason Webster says, I have a film project that really suits James Gunn, Rebel Moon 3.
Oh.
That's actually funny. James Gunn should make Rebel Moon 3. That would be funny.
Make it a buddy comedy.
Are you aware that Zack Snyder is heading the Escape from New York remake? I don't know why that needs to even be remade. I honestly don't think that that's a project he should be involved in, but what do I know? People just sometimes make movies that they don't need to make. Like, are they making if they ever remake The Godfather, that'll be so embarrassing. Like, I really don't need that movie made again. Sometimes you have movies and you just don't need a remake of them.
There are many, many movies that do not need remakes, and they just keep doing it, and it's so tiring. I have absolutely, I've gotten crap from plenty of people in our circles, but I have no interest whatsoever in a remake of Highlander. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't care who's in it. It doesn't matter who the star is or who's directing or none of it. I don't care about a remake of Highlander. The original movie was a it was sort of a picture of a specific time, right? Of a specific time in the setting in New York. To me, there's no point in trying to remake that film. I don't care who the star is. I don't want to see it. Like there's so many other things. Of course, we've got all of these just again soulless remakes of all of these these just soulless remakes that we've get of all of these animated features that Disney's had for all these years. They keep making these terrible live action versions. It's such a waste of time. It's so. I mean, as we've said, there's been some terrible. There's been some terrible live action remakes that they've done. The most recent one, of course, being this Moana disaster. But of course, we had the Snow White disaster before that, and then there's been a bunch of others that were just okay, did some money in the box office, and just one after another, they keep getting worse. They keep getting sloppier. They keep getting weaker. They keep getting cheaper. Although I guess cheap is relative when we see that this new movie, the Moana, cost $250 million to make. But there's others. I mean, they talk about all of these Disney remakes, and of course there was the Lady and the Tramp, which just nobody mentioned because it was so terrible. It was a straight to Disney Plus release. It's awful, this live action remake, and so and it's just part of the bigger problem in Hollywood, man, of this ridiculous need to just keep remaking stuff, keep redoing stuff because they have no new ideas.
I sent Mr. Brown a DM, and that's what people were seeing, that I told him he was welcome to join, but then I guess he went to sleep because he's in a different time zone. So I was hoping he would join us, but I guess he went to sleep. That's what happened. Sorry about that. And
he should be waking up about now.
That is true, but
no, I don't know what his schedule's like.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, he does a lot of gardening, so he's up early and out the door.
That's all very strange, but yes. Mark D with the C, if you're around, I sent you an invite. There were other people here.
Badfoot says that he heard they were making a Big Trouble in Little China remake. Oh my God. I can't even imagine what that would look like in modern day being remade.
I even sent Emperor Goodwin. I saw him here and I gave him an invite, but I feel like he disappeared as well. In any case, I sent Six an invite, but I think that she's upset that I waited to tell the story. So sorry about that. Born to be Down has given on the Rumble side a $25 Rumble rant.
Wonderful.
Wow.
And he wrote, episode 250. Congrats, Price and Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And $25, that is very, very generous of you. Super, super nice of you. I'm always happy when you are here in the stream because I see you a lot in our chat. And I appreciate you just being here, but you even giving us a gift like that is even, more special, especially on a day like this. So thank you, Born to be Down. Thank you very much.
Price, I have to tell you something. I heard on the grapevine that this show is actually better with just you two on there. So
yeah, we really messed it up.
You might need to kick us off. Yeah.
And congrats on 250. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have a better sense of how much work all this stuff is, and man, just mad respect for you and all the work you've put in over the years.
I have to say, for those who don't know, Estefobo started posting on his YouTube channel. Really great opening. One of the better openings of a YouTube channel that I've seen in a very long time. People are connecting with your videos, and it's very cool, man. And I know you're very passionate about them. So it's nice that you're doing this, and yeah, it does take a lot of work. And I think that the thing is that over time, uh, sometimes like you have a lot of energy for it, but sometimes it could kind of, wear you out a bit. So those are the challenges that maybe some people have. But generally speaking, what you've done is very, very professional work. And it looks to be, like I said, people are connecting with your videos. It's cool.
I finished that last video on my phone. I don't know how professional. I forgot an entire section of the video and I had to record it separately and stitch it up in the middle on my phone and get it out in time. And was also haven't slept for like 48 hours.
Have you recorded a video yet with the audio, the mic off? I've done that a few times when I started YouTube. And then you're like, oh, this is going to be a great review. This is awesome. I did all this stuff. And then I go to play it back and shit, there's no audio. I got to do it all over again.
No, but the way I record, I see the spectrum analyzer. So I think I would know if there's no input coming in. So
I'm not that smart. Yeah. So,
no, it's just how Audacity works.
Yeah, no, but when you start, when you just start, you do. I think my very first live stream, Eric K came in. He's like, Mark, I think your mic is off. He was the first person in one of my live streams. I'm like, oh my, and I'm like, you all missed like the 20 minutes of the best wisdom out there, the amazing 20 minutes lost to history. Yep. But yeah, no, it happens. But no, it is a lot of work. So yeah, you did some great videos to start with. So
I'm just looking at that 3,000 hour number, and it seems like, man, that's like.
You'll get there if you just do what you love to do and stay true to yourself and just have fun, and then before you know it, you'll hit that. It's kind of a geometric thing where you got a bunch of videos out there, then it takes off. But just don't chase the numbers. Just do what you
just
do and enjoy.
Just do it for you, because you. After a while, if you're doing it for the numbers, it's going to seem like it's work. It's not passion. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun for now, but I could see getting burned out. I don't know. I'm just doing it. I started it to promote this book that I really love that no one ever heard about. And next thing you know, I'm just, I just keep going. But I love our community, man. They have been so supportive of me. It really warms my heart to think of all the built-in support I had, just when I launched. It wasn't even a week ago. And the first day I got like 100 views, which is like 95 more than I thought I would get. And that number may seem small to some, but that was enormous to me. And I was so grateful.
Well, like I said, I looked at your channel today and it looks like you're doing really well. So it's a good sign when you start off on the right foot like that.
I'm surprised that I have very few negative comments. I thought I was going through the chat. I thought, man, there's like 2 Snyder bros and a, I don't know what you call a gun bro. But other than that, I was really surprised. I guess I'm not controversial enough yet.
Just wait.
Yeah. I've seen your 3D printer streams like get attacked, and I'm like, dude, it's 3D printing. What could you possibly be upset about?
Yeah, right. Your prints are too slow. They're taking too long.
Yeah, you're this slow ass printer. What kind of settings you running on that thing?
Yeah, come on, man.
That's some cheap ass PLA you're putting in that thing.
As I'm watching
replaying the stream, I'm not replaying the stream. I'm just trying to find. I was looking at It's a really long story. In any case, Darren M sent a $2.50 super chat, and he says $2.50 gets you 50 characters, so the drinker is okay. I guess that's because I said I wanted to send him a message saying that thanks to him, I wasn't going to watch Moana, and I'll try to do that in one of his upcoming streams, so that way we can. It'll be like full circle with what we discussed here.
I kept calling that Mona on my stream on Sunday night.
It's probably a better name, actually.
But is that original animated any good? I mean, I know it's kids like it, or I mean, I didn't watch it. Is it any good? The original animated, or?
Yeah, I don't think it deserves. For some reason, it's one of the most streamed movies. Not just kids movies, not just animated movies. It's one of the most streamed movies of all time. It's good, but I don't think it rises to the level of like Disney masterpiece.
No.
But yeah, it is a kids movie, but it's something that will entertain adults, and it's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with it. And it's kind of it's like a hybrid. It looks good too. Like, I don't know why it became so popular, but there's nothing wrong with it. But Moana 2 was a dumpster fire. And even though it made $1 billion, I think they burned up some of their brand capital on that.
Yeah. The original is, I mean, as far as the more recent Disney, show movies, their animated films, pretty good, honestly. Is it great? Is it up there with the masterpieces from the, from the 90s?
Little Mermaid?
No, it's not. Right. It's not that good, but it's enjoyable. It's fine. And again, it's not full of all sorts of messaging and stuff like that. It got in before that kind of thing. Yes, it centers on a female character, but you also have a masculine character in there. And it's not, funny. And it's a fairly funny movie. Yeah.
Oh, I just looked up, I didn't use AI, just regular Google. Like, why? Apparently, it's the music. That's what drove it. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. And apparently, the music is what drove the huge streaming numbers.
The music's fine.
It's no Taylor Swift, I'll tell you that. I wanted to mention Price because, Scooter Braun, it's hard to get past that name. But he does have the advantage of being Taylor Swift's nemesis.
Yes.
So that is a plus for him.
Yeah. And the thing is that Taylor Swift was really dumb when it came to her whole handling of this guy. She ended up just paying a ton of money and pretending like she was some big winner in all of this. Meanwhile, he walked away with like even more ton of money and Sydney Sweeney. So I think that he's the winner here. Whoever ends up with $1 billion, upsetting Taylor Swift, making her pay hundreds of millions of dollars, and with Sydney Sweeney, is the clear winner here. Even if his name is Scooter and he seems annoying, I can't say that the guy doesn't have game.
Yeah, no, he's got game. I mean, but so I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. But how ridiculous Taylor Swift was. She didn't own her masters. That was part of her recording deal. To promote her. I'm sure. I haven't read her contract, but it wasn't like Scooter Braun did anything evil. He just freaking had the money and he bought her catalog. I mean,
no, he didn't do anything wrong than the people who bought it from him that she bought it from. She didn't vilify them. I think it's because he was an identifiable person. But you have to give Taylor credit. She was able to play both a winner and a victim simultaneously and pulled it off. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
And Scooter went to my high school. Actually, I'm much older than him, but he actually went to my high school. So, I mean, pretty successful. I always love it when people tear down people that are, ultra uber successful. It's like he started doing, parties in college. And I think he ended up dropping out of college just go to the party, the professional party route, and then did it, became famous and did his career. But I mean, people always tear people down. It's like, I wish I was a loser like Scooter Braun, dating Sydney Sweeney and with maybe $1 billion or $1 million. Like I remember people attacking Donald Trump, like he's not really a billionaire, but I'm like, I think he's got a lot more money than most of us. I mean,
he's a very savvy music producer. You're right. He does have game, and he kind of, that's a tough business to navigate. And he seems to do it pretty good. So,
right. Yeah. So, we're all going to get stuck with Taylor Swift and not Sydney Sweeney. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was actually at, Sydney Sweeney was in an ice cream shop in town. And so I've been to that same ice cream shop, and it was funny. My daughter used to work at the same shop. She was talking to the girl that started. Like, did you see Sydney Sweeney? She's like, no, I started the day after she started.
Did I disappear from the stream for a few seconds?
You did. But you
did.
It was the strangest thing because the way I saw it, what I was watching is you all disappeared. It looked like you had all left the stream.
We didn't disappear. You disappeared.
Right. But the way the interface showed it to me was you were all gone and I was here by myself streaming. It was so strange.
I think
I think there might be some weirdness going on the Rumble side tonight. I was on the stream, but everything in the window disappeared except you. And I could hear you, but I couldn't see chat and I couldn't see myself. It was weird. So I had to reset then too. So there might be some odd stuff going on tonight.
right?
Yeah, I think that could be the case. There was something now that I saw about this. They're really trying to do a legal hurdle for Paramount.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know, it's funny how when Netflix was supposed to be taking over Paramount, these same people didn't say a word. They were all very happy because Netflix is very woke and was going to play the game that they like. Once they thought to themselves that a guy like Ellison is going to be in charge of CNN and at CBS, they all these weird, attorney generals popped out of the woodwork. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I remember sort of mentioning that when it first came out about the CNN thing, and people were looking at me like I was a flat earther, and I'm like, it's like broadcast news, cable news, nobody care. It's irrelevant, but I thought it was a huge, important part of that deal, and as it turns out, it's the controversy over ownership is massively driving this thing. It's all going to depend on the judge and his TRO ruling next week, though. If he doesn't grant a temporary injunction, the deal's going to go through because there won't be any impediments.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, is that Paramount Skydance agreed to link a merger antitrust case to pre-existing Paramount Plus subscriber suit. And the interesting thing is, it says it'll end up before Judge Araceli Martinez Olguin, a Biden appointee who is already handling the earlier lawsuit. Why would they want him to be there? Isn't this probably this doesn't sound like somebody that's going to let their thing.
I'm not sure they have a choice. They don't get to pick the judge. I'm sure they didn't want him, but as far as Biden judges go, I think he might be a bit more impartial than some of them. This will probably get litigated, even though the states are bringing the case. They're bringing federal charge. It's in federal court. So it'll probably end up going to the Supreme Court no matter which way it rules.
Maybe that's why they're just like, fine, fuck it. Do whatever you want. We'll just bring it to the Supreme Court.
I think the ticking fee starts in September. Is that right, Professor?
Right. So they just want this as fast as possible. But
yes,
he says, we like that, good judge. That's the Attorney General for California. Is like, we like that judge.
Yeah.
The fact that the judge is already up to speed, is thinking about this, thinking about its impacts. We like that.
Yeah. Paramount Skydance doesn't have to pay any penalties until after the first of the year. So there's still time. Ideally, there is a separate shareholder thing that happens October 1st. Yeah, so there's part of the deal that they made that has to do with shareholders, where they have to pay out some stuff to the shareholders.
$650 million per quarter,
and that's October 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
September, so and then there's another thing that has to do with the January 1st. But I think this is extremely unlikely to have any real impact. If it does have a temporary injunction, then that would push it back a little bit. It would mean some more costs for Paramount Skydance in trying to deal with this. But honestly, this is a real uphill climb for these lawsuits, because the truth is that these lawsuits rarely succeed. This is a federal matter. It's dealt with at the federal level. The feds seem to have no issues right now. They're not signaling that they have any kind of anything
reservations.
Reservations. Any reservations, any conditions, anything that they want to put on top of this. They basically have said, go for it. And so the court has to take that into account, right? When the regulatory body that's in charge of monitoring this merger says, thumbs up, you're good to go, let's move on. Like the fact that these states are trying to sue to change things isn't going to carry a whole lot of weight.
Another thing that won't carry weight is their justification why they're bringing the suit. Consolidation, lost jobs, rising streaming rates. That's all been happening anyway, and they haven't given a shit or done anything about it. It's only now that it's Big Bad Ellison that they're even acknowledging the problem. So, and I'm not a lawyer, full disclosure. But I've read the way they're sort of using this law, this federal law, and it sounds like they're really trying to twist it and contort it to make their case. So any reasonable judge would probably, but he may not be reasonable. I don't know. Any reasonable judge would say, yeah, that's not really what this law is supposed to do. But
yeah,
you never know.
There is severely limited. I just say real quick, there's just severely limited powers at the state level, which is where these suits were initially, they were made by the, attorneys general in those states. There's very little antitrust power in the states.
Yeah, but they are suing it under that federal regulation, which is why it's in federal court. So, it can have teeth, and the very reason that they enabled this act, I forget the name of it. I'm trying to look it up.
While you're looking it up, I just want to thank Rumble. They did a bit of they featured us now somewhere in their recommendations. So that's how we got like an influx of some additional people watching here.
Wonderful.
And we're very grateful. If you're not already signed up for Rumble and you're watching through the app, you should sign up. It's free. You could do premium, but you could also do free, and then follow us, and you'll always know when we stream. In addition to that, anybody here, especially on on YouTube or on Rumble, if you happen to be lurking and you haven't yet put a comment in the chat, these comments really help us. So even if you like just write lurk and run away, that's fine. Like any comment you can put helps us with the algorithm and all this other stuff. So comments like, in the chat, in the live chat are wonderful, and we encourage that very, very much. I was thinking about giving away prizes for people that do that, but I don't have any prizes to give out.
How about a no prize?
So the only prize is that you get to watch me, Professor Istophobos, and Mark D with the C hanging out here on the 250th,
anniversary
episode.
show. That's awesome.
The anniversary show. It's very, very. And by the way, we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. And the 2-hour mark, I said I would tell the story, the Price Hollywood story that I've never told before. And I'm so tired. It's probably going to come out really crappy, but I'm going to do my best anyways.
We got to get Six back here. You DM'd her, right? Yeah.
I did DM her. I sent all this stuff. I begged. I begged and I pleaded. And Six, I couldn't get her back.
We'll have to let her know. We'll have to tell her the timestamp.
She is very disappointed in me, and I am sorry for that. Sorry, Six.
You're in big trouble. You're in
big trouble. I'm sorry. I really do appreciate the super chat. And the only reason people are going to get reason people are going to get anything here today is because of Six's super chat. That's what I'm trying to say.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we got this thing here. Okay, whatever. There's also the WGA lawsuit. Everybody's trying to like sue them and do all this stuff. I think this is all dumb crap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like all these mergers, I have to say, but I mean, it's if you let some of them go through, then you have to let others go through. I mean, look what happened with Spirit Airlines and JetBlue. They blocked the merger, and then they ended up killing the company.
Yeah,
and
they didn't block
Fox.
They didn't block Fox and Disney, for God's sake, and that was
right. So
I mean, the thing is, they allowed Fox and Disney at the end of the day. They would have allowed Netflix, but because it's Paramount, they're all whining. It's like, what a double standard. Right? Yeah, why don't they explain why Netflix wasn't an issue and this is an issue? Netflix don't even do theatrical releases. At least Paramount do theatrical releases. Why were you glazing Netflix when they had the deal and now suddenly you're not? Nobody made this kind of effort when it was Netflix.
Yeah. Well, we know why, but
we know why.
Yeah.
Is Netflix on the liberal side? I mean,
like all that woke stuff. Absolutely,
heavily, yeah.
Hypocrisy never bothers these guys, though. Just like all of Hollywood.
The movie that I spoke about at the beginning, Enola Holmes 3, where Dr. Watson is from Pakistan, that is very much a Netflix production.
Well, black
jiu-jitsu teacher.
No, I was going to say Black Holmes, Cleopatra. Black Cleopatra was theirs too. Yeah,
right. It was there
Berlin,
too.
Right.
Well, Enola Holmes was the original character. Sherlock Holmes is just a fantasy, right? I mean,
right.
He's just a derivative spinoff.
I mean, you can do something like that, but as a fun thing, but it's just I watched that, and I think that was the show where they had the prince was going through in a carriage, and they had this quote unquote street urchins, and and they had this class warfare scene where one of the street urchins stopped the carriage and is berating the prince, and she happens to be a minority. I'm like, the people protecting the prince would have gotten out of the carriage and and beaten the crap out of her, probably killed her, and no one has said anything because they're dealing with the Prince of England. And they couldn't have done it. I mean, and she's like, they have all this social justice stuff that they throw in instead of just, all right, we're gonna create this character and make, have Sherlock Holmes' younger sister for fun, but they've got to throw in all this garbage and change everything, and the message that's in it, it's just, it can have some fun parts, but they've got to ruin it because they can't help themselves. And
Listen,
yeah.
I mean, everything you're saying is true, but for me, like, even more than Dr. Watson being from Pakistan, I think that, like I said, a plus size African American woman who is a jujitsu master that teaches, that secretly teaches Enola Holmes martial arts in the year 1884, that is just too much. I think that's where I draw the line. That's even worse than Cleopatra being black, if you ask me.
Yeah, Price, you didn't mention she was plus size. That's a bonus.
Oh, yeah. She's plus size.
She's a plus size woman, but she's also a jujitsu master. I don't know how, but, they somehow made it work.
I mean, at least when they did, Elementary with Lucy Liu, they made Dr. Joan Watson, and but it didn't have the message. It was just like a different take on the character, and I really liked that show. I mean, it was a good show.
They made the show in New York in 2015 or whenever it was. And once you do that, you can do all of that because it's obviously not happening in 1884.
Yeah.
It's happening in New York.
Yeah.
So once you're doing a real modern day reimagining happening in modern day, and you're really just loosely taking the idea of, these characters, but you're doing something completely different, you can do it. I mean, I still think that at the end of the day, Sherlock Holmes, the guy that, they picked to play Sherlock Holmes, was a white dude. And I think that is probably the right casting choice. But at the same time, I suppose that in a version like that, they can take a lot of liberties and do whatever they want, theoretically. You know what I mean?
And Lucy Liu was really good looking in it too.
Yeah, she is. She was always good looking. She's
Lucy
a
Liu.
lovely woman. But see, and this is comes back to what a lot of people said about everything that's happening with the Odyssey, with this new version from Nolan, is that if this was the Odyssey, except it was in space in the year 3800, and it was this sci-fi version of the story, no one would care that Helen of Troy was a black woman. No one would care that they had this bizarrely diverse cast of Greeks, right? No one would care because it's not the same setting. It's not the same story. It's an adaptation that's taking place in a different time. It's a different story. It's different. And so the whole point is, like, he keeps talking. It's ridiculous how every day he just keeps coming back talking about how, we wanted to keep it authentic. We don't have an orchestra because they didn't have orchestras in that, stuff like that. Like, we want to make sure this is authentic. But then he has this ridiculous cast of people playing these characters who don't look anything like the people who would have been back then. Yes, I mean, sure, yes, he's got Americans in there and he's got whatever, but at least some of them are, could potentially pass as being Greek, right? But then you've got lots of others, like the character that we showed earlier, who was also in Enola Holmes, right? But if he had taken that and said, I'm putting this is my own adaptation that happens in this time and this place, it's different. If he hadn't just repeatedly come back to talking about how he's making this so authentic and whatever, then no one would care about all the things that aren't authentic. It's,
he's his own worst enemy. That's the thing. It only matters to him when it matters. And you can tell that here's the thing. He's supposed to sell us on the movie, not defend his own choices. And he's not doing that. and you can tell that he doesn't really directly address people's concerns. But the thing is, when they stop talking about the movie and they start talking about everything around the movie, you kind of already get a sense that something has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gotta wait. I'm gonna see it twice this weekend because I'm gonna go Thursday night so I can do a review. And then my wife wanted to go see it with another couple. She's like, "Oh, I really wanted to go see it." I'm like, "All right, well, do you want to go Saturday or Sunday?" So I'm gonna see it twice this weekend. So you don't never say no to your wife.
Maybe after the first one, you'll be able to talk her out of it after you've seen it. To be like, no, really, you don't want to go see this. Really, I promise.
The worst was like going to see the third not Star Wars movie. And I always bought tickets, for like the midnight show back then, and then like the family wanted to go like Friday night, so I'm like, oh my god, I've got to see this freaking movie again. How am I going to sit through this? I'm like, I don't think we should go. The kids are like, no, but Dad, we want, they're much younger. They're like, we want to see it. We want to see it. I'm like, it's so terrible. Oh my god. So yeah, I'm hoping it's good because I'm gonna have to go see it twice.
It's long, and Alan Ing said he was so bored, and Chris Gore didn't have many good things. He said there were a couple of good action scenes, and otherwise his main compliment was it wasn't a disaster, which kind of makes me think it was a disaster.
Where Alan Ing said yes, it was a disaster. So.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm like, oh no. But I always wait to see something before I. But
I trust those guys to err on the side of being less picky than me. So if they didn't like it, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to at all.
Yep. That also Coda Rob mentioned it in the chat, but Chris Gore, and actually there's been a few other people who mentioned it, that the credits, the end of the film of the credits is a Travis Scott rap song.
Yeah.
That fits right in with the ancient Greek Homer poems, right? Didn't Homer write the first rap song?
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Listen, I'm trying to get AI to make Christopher Nolan rapping, but it doesn't want to do it because I have a little rap I want to post. So.
Oh, because of the IP, maybe sometimes it doesn't let you.
It doesn't like making real people, yeah.
Yeah, so, Grok is one of the few ones that actually seems to let you do real people once in a while. Not always, but once in a while, yep. So,
yeah, they a lot of them have rails, right? They've safeguards.
Yeah,
and I was trying to do something fun for Toxic Tuesday where we had with one of our guys, with Charles Bronson, but he was in a Speedo, so it wouldn't let you manipulate it because they're like, too much skin, too much. I'm like, he's wearing a bathing suit, but it wouldn't like touch the photo. Now I guess they put in all these controls where,
Yeah, and I've gotten some weird stuff like. I had a lake and I just wanted to put fish in it, and it said I can't do that. It's not safe for work. I'm like, what? Like fish? Mm-hmm. So you never know when you're going to run afoul of the restrictions. It's very frustrating, and when you finally get it to do something, it usually ends up messing up something else. So.
Let's see. Badfoot asked in the chat when the review embargo ends. That actually ends Wednesday. The 15th, so Wednesday morning. So now,
right?
Yeah,
now,
that's supposedly that's when it's supposed to. But it runs like for whatever time zone, right? It's like midnight or 12:01, whatever the time zone is. So
Film Threat had a review, or just that
they just released their out of the theater, yeah.
So I guess it's not considered a review per se.
I'm willing to show it. I don't think they'll cause problems for me, right?
Nah,
I think
we've shown their reactions.
I think they'll be okay. I don't think they're going to cause problems. I'm also crediting them. This is Film Threat. You should check it out.
Yeah,
I am wearing a Film Threat shirt tonight, which you can't see, but I'm wearing a Film Threat Jaws shirt. Well, I don't know if my camera can turn on, but yeah. So shout out to Chris Gore for a cool shirt.
Okay, so are you ready?
Here we are, Alan, with our out of the theater review of the Odyssey, our social media reaction.
Christopher Nolan.
What do you think?
I was bored out of my mind. I was checked out on this movie pretty much from the beginning. The sound was awful. I couldn't understand dialogue. And then I started to understand dialogue and realized how bad the dialogue is. This is the most pretentious movie I've seen all year. And I can't wait to not see this movie again.
The thing that didn't work for me mostly was the accents. The way they spoke, I felt diminished the film. It felt too modern. And in a way, it kind of felt like El Topo. Alejandro Jodorowsky's El Topo was like a modern Western, and this felt like a modern epic. And just look, there are parts that drag, especially the first half. But then there are also moments, in particular with the Cyclops, I thought were great. The fall of Troy, I thought
The Witch.
The Witch with played by Samantha Ward. She was very good. The way they the soldiers transform. I'm not going to go into detail there. I thought that was very clever. But for the most part, I'm still marinating on it. It's not a disaster, but I'll say the controversial castings.
Not a big deal.
It's not that big a deal because of screen time.
Right. They might as well be cameos.
They're really not in the movie all that much. Although Elliot Page as Sinan is the greatest soldier I've ever known. It was called that in the movie. That's like a line in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's it's one of those things where you see a Nolan film the first time, you're like, why do you do this and that? And then the second time you see it, maybe it bothers you less.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm seeing it a second time on Thursday.
Here's my big thing. That was Matt Damon on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway on screen. That was Tom Holland on screen. There was no characterization, no effort to say, I'm playing this character. I'm seeing Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, and everyone. And it just doesn't feel part of the period.
I don't like that the colors were muted. It felt very muted.
Oh, I think Price is seized up.
Well, we know the color we knew it was going to be bland, drab, and dreary because that looks nothing like Grease, which is one of the most bright, colorful places
Did
I've
you hear
ever
it or
seen.
did something happen?
You won't.
Yeah, you dropped out.
we go.
You dropped out for a sec,
This
but it's
movie will
fine.
probably win a lot of technical Oscars, and it is guaranteed to win an Oscar for casting. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot I want to say that I can't. This is initial reaction, and my reaction is not a disaster, but mixed. And for Alan,
Disaster, not mixed.
not a disaster, mixed. Okay, we'll talk more later this week.
Friday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday and Friday. Alan?
Let's get out of here.
Well, Alan thinks it is a disaster, and I think that I trust him more in this situation.
Yeah, Gore can get a little bit seduced by the glamour and what are the nostalgia of Hollywood and the romance of it.
Yeah.
But I was saying, man, Nolan, he just dives into the technical stuff so much. I just feel even all the other things aside, he loses the big picture. It's like nobody cares if you're doubling the frame rate and using a dual switchback, double back operated rotating shutter. Like there may 10 people care, but that's not what you use to sell the audience on it.
Right.
I just made that thing up, but it's not a real show.
It's not a real thing. I was going to go out and buy one, damn it, and become a director. Damn. Oh, man.
48 hours, man. What can I say?
But I mean, yeah, technically Nolan is, phenomenal director, but I just got to see this. Like, I like an unpopular I didn't like Batman Begins. Like, and everyone was yelling at me for not liking Batman Begins. I love The Dark Knight, and of course the third movie is a travesty what they did with Bane. Although people seem to be warming up to that movie, but just certain things hit with you or miss with you too. So
I like the movies. I like the his Batman trilogy. I know the Rises one was the least good out of the three, but I still rather enjoyed those movies. I liked Memento. I liked Inception. Interstellar was a bit weird. I didn't necessarily hate it, but it was a bit out there. Yeah, I mean, I generally like Nolan. I don't dislike some of his movies. Maybe I like more than others, but I generally like what he does. It's just this time I feel like he's become a little bit pompous and full of himself, and he made a mistake here, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can take some of these old stories and update them for the modern day. Like Romeo and Juliet. How many times has that been adopted?
Yeah,
like
and
the
they did that.
DiCaprio version, but this is set, in the past with and changing all these characters around. This is getting a lot of buzz, on the YouTube. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out this weekend. But he's not, and that's like I was watching my wife watch Netflix. I'm like, and is it one of those British shows? And I'm like, why are there so many minorities as royalty? And she's like, well, this is just just the way they're doing the show. I'm like, but this doesn't make any sense historically. Not Downton Abbey. What's the other? What's the show?
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. Yeah, Bridgerton. I'm like, but in some, I guess if you want to do that, you can say this is fictional universe. But on the other hand, isn't it kind of trivializing what people went through, or kind of glossing it over then too? I guess, but.
Well, they want to have it both ways. Like, right, they need to be victims, but they also need to always be right, and they need to always be, portrayed positively. So that's why you get that weird disconnect. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou was a modern adaptation of the Odyssey, and I really enjoyed that movie. It was quite hilarious.
It was an adaptation that most people didn't even know was an adaptation, even though they put it on some of the posters. People didn't know that it was supposed to be a take on the Odyssey. In fact, I didn't know when I first went to go see it, and then there were a few things here and there, and I was like, oh, I get it. Like there was the Cyclops, and there was the sirens and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I picked up on it watching the movie, but I know there were a lot of people that didn't.
And they had that great rap song in it too.
Oh yeah, the great rap song.
Yeah,
from the original, just redone. Yep. That is a phenomenal movie. That is just such a great movie.
Yeah. I just kind of think
so good in that.
Somebody who doesn't like fantastical elements and who prefers to ground everything in reality really isn't the guy to adapt this story. There are other classical Greek and Roman classical stories that he could have done that wouldn't require him to ignore so much of the original content, some of the magical, mystical, and divine elements.
Yeah, isn't he leaving all the gods out basically in this? And it's very grounded, like you're saying.
I think Athena might be a hallucination, which could explain why. Like, she doesn't really seem wise. I don't know.
But by the way, I guess I have to tell the story now.
Okay,
there we go.
I'm probably going to deliver really poorly. It's so late at night. This is going to be the worst delivered story ever.
No, it won't, and we're ready.
Okay, so. This could have been around, probably over 10 years ago. 10 years ago, probably more than that, though. In the past, I've told you that there were years that I was involved in, event production. Sometimes, like, there would be an event and it needed talent or even performers, even musicians to perform and things like that. I would be involved behind the scenes, sometimes securing talent, talent programming, things like that. And I'd be involved in productions in different capacities. That's why a lot of the times I tell you these stories, and if you don't have the context, it's that. There have been different times that I've done different things over the years. There were also times that I kind of represented certain talent on certain types of deal, things like that. So, I used to legitimately work something within the entertainment industry, but not like the kind of thing where, you're sitting with Spielberg and bringing your A-list talent. I guess I wasn't I was sort of a out of the box kind of guy in Hollywood. I wasn't really one of those mainstream type of guys, if that makes sense. Like there were certain niches or things that I
Yeah,
did,
sure.
but I'm not like at the top of any pyramid, and nobody really gives a shit about me. If that makes sense. Did I explain that
Gotcha.
well?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, I've got I don't want to say in case you don't want me to say, but I have a pretty good idea of what you're involved in and some of the support mechanisms that the entertainment industry uses.
Awesome. So basically, what happened was there was an event. It was over 10 years ago, not a million years more than 10 years ago, but it should have been over 10 years ago. And I was involved, like I said, from behind the scenes, securing some talent. There were some musicians there scheduled to perform, to do different things. I had set up whatever I needed to set up, and I flew out. There sometimes were events where I would set things up, but I would not fly out to the event. In this case, I guess it seemed more high profile. I don't really remember, or maybe I was expected to be there, and like I had to fly somewhere to, this was on the West Coast somewhere, and I flew out to this event, and there were some bands there, and I came, early on to make sure that everything was settled. The bands were there. They did their sound check or whatever it is. A lot of this stuff was going on. There were like different dressing rooms. You know how sometimes you have like on shows they have kind of their own little bands have their own rooms, like green rooms, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah, no green M&Ms.
No green M&Ms. Yeah, that's their rider because they have like a technical rider and a regular performance rider. So the performance rider would be all the green M&Ms. In any case, handled all of that. Everybody's kind of doing whatever they do. And the people that sort of put up the money for this, that basically I get paid from this as well, they said to me, we're trying to do a little bit of a buzz push here. We're trying to get some. It wasn't an event that was open to the public from what I recall. It was something more of call it a internal or private or a sort of corporate. I don't know what. It doesn't matter. It wasn't open to the general public, but they were happy because it seemed like maybe they could lure in a few people that were quote unquote celebrities. Are you still with me? Are you
for this
falling
concert?
asleep?
For this concert, right? Like drawing to get some more buzz, right?
I mean, this is all something that they're like beyond the performances and everything. There's something else that people are trying to market here. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have these events where there's something else tied to it, if that makes sense. And I can't say more than that. But bottom line is the people that were funding this thing, to them, having people that are cool, they had PR people, that worked with me. They were inviting all these people to try to bring them to this event. And a lot of times what you do in these kind of press things, you invite a lot of people. A lot of them don't show up. Now, I can already tell you that I noticed that at some point people were showing up and the bands were getting ready. They're in their rooms. They already did the sound check. And there were some celebrities there. But when I say celebrities, the kind that maybe you'll see on some like reality show of sorts. You know what I mean?
Andy Dick.
Not even. I don't even.
Not even Andy Dick.
I don't even think I met Andy Dick at an event like that, but it wasn't that one. Not even like an Andy Dick. Okay, so it wasn't like your A-listers. It was people that maybe like somebody in some tabloid, somebody would know who they are. They don't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't like. I understand they have value, but they don't have much value to me. But in any case, there were a few of those there hanging around. But the publicist there told me, listen, early on in the day, she's like, listen, we invited, and she gave me a few names of like, more well-known people. And one of the people she said that she invited was Gerard Butler. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, and these
300.
people may show up. I'm like, yeah, of course. And I'm thinking like, so, yeah, of course they'll show up.
Sure.
So of course, yes, I'm sure they'll have a great time. Thanks for the update. And then I just went, I'm thinking to myself, these type of people get invited, they never show up. Okay. So I finished what I'm doing. I'm already hanging around. Not only that, some people that were also involved in making the event, they saw me. They're like, here's a drink. I usually don't drink, but already everything was taken care of. There was nothing more for me to really do at this point. You know what I mean? Like the thing that I feel like I mainly had to do here, I set up was working. And at this point, it's really not in my hands. You know what I mean? The bands have to go and do whatever. Sure. I mean, it's good that I'm there, but a drink won't hurt anyone,
Sure.
So I have a drink and whatever, and I'm already like in a decent mood. I'm thinking, okay, we made this happen. Everything's great. And then as I'm standing there with my drink, I feel a tap on my shoulder. And I turn around, and you know who it is?
Me.
Gerard Butler.
It's Gerard Butler.
No way. How did his abs look?
What'd you say?
How did his abs look?
They weren't spray painted on, if that's your question. He just looked like Gerard Butler. So I stood there. He looks at me. And he's like, and he has like whatever accent he has. Oh, I don't know. I can't even do a good impression of him, but he's like, and he knew my name, not my Price of Reason name. He knew my actual name. He's like, oh, like, hello, and he says my name, and I'm like thinking,
Wow.
what? Like, I don't know this guy. Like, I mean, it's very nice. I don't know. I'm trying to think to myself. I'm only remembering the publicist that said like I invited Gerard Butler. And then I'm like, oh, of course you did. You know, and it's all like coming back to me. And he's here, and he's like, well, I was told that I should come talk to you. And I'm like, okay, what's up? And he told me basically that one of the bands there, he likes one of those bands or something like that. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, can you take me up like to meet them? I want to say hi to them. So I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I mean, I know this is important. You know, somebody even earlier told me this is really important. This guy showed up. Okay. Are you all still with me? This
Yeah,
this
yeah,
we're
story
here.
is
No,
about
we're
to
here,
get
yeah.
very strange. So hold on. So in any case, I walk with him. It was me. Maybe even we had to like. There was like flights of stairs. I don't really know. We had to go somewhere else. There were other rooms with the bands or whatever. I knew where the people that he wanted to say hi to were. It was like a band, and I would dare say that some people will probably know which band this is. In any case, I show him where the door is, and I say, "Well, here you go. This is the door." Honestly, I'm thinking to myself, I probably should have opened the door and tried to check to see if it's okay that I'm bringing him. But I figure it's a rock. If you're a rock band and Gerard Butler walks in, you're probably happy. You know what I mean? Like I thought to myself, what are they all going to be upset that like Gerard Butler came to say hi to them? So I brought him to the door and I said, okay, they're behind this door. You can just open the door and just go hang out, and that's it. I'll happy you showed up. Thank you. I was very polite. Okay, so he stands with like his hand on the door, not the door handle thing, and he looks at me and he says, "Well, aren't you going to join me?" And I'm like, "Join you?" He's like, "Yeah, let's hang out in the green room." Like he's telling me like he and I should hang out in the green room with his band. You know what I mean?
Can't turn that down.
And the thing is, when he says it, he also has this like mischievous look on his face, as though like shit is about to go down now. You know what I mean? He's like, why don't you and I go into the green room? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I already set up what I needed to set up here. I already had a drink, and fuck it. You know what I mean? It's Gerard Butler. I'm thinking to myself, we're probably walking into this green room. There's a rock band. There's like Gerard Butler, and there's probably a bunch of models in there. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no choice here. I have to say yes to this, right? There's no other scenario. So I said, sure. Let's head into the green room, you and I, sure. So he opens the door. We walk in. Now, a few weird things happen. First of all, the band, all the members aren't there. There's only one person from the band there. I know who that person is, but there's only one person there. I don't know where the other people went. So it's only one person from the band. Also, nobody else except for that one person. So now we're in a kind of green room or VIP room, whatever you want to call it. Me, Gerard Butler, and this band member. Okay.
Was it the drummer?
It was not the drummer. In any case, we're
Spontaneously
sitting, all
combusted.
three of us, and there's places you could sit there. So I kind of just sat down, and all three of us are sitting in this kind of triangle situation. We're kind of looking at each other, and nobody is saying a word. And I'm just sitting there and
Super
trying to break
awkward.
the ice. Like nobody's saying shit. I'm like, I thought to myself, okay, well, here's the part that I can kind of like be awesome. You know what I mean? Because I have the contacts here. I may not be much if we walk off this property, but on this property, at this very moment, I have some pull to do something. You know what I mean? So I tell them, listen, are you guys hungry? I can make a call now. People are going to run, bring us whatever. Like, what do you want? Like, and I'm asking them, nothing. They don't want anything. I'm like, okay. I said, hey, do you want, there's a bar here. And there was already a bar like in the room with all this like high end, like, top shelf type of alcohol, things like that, bottles, whatever you want. I'm like, guys, so much stuff here. Why don't maybe there was even like a little bit of snacks there or something. All this shit. They don't want anything. They don't want a drink. They don't want any snacks. They don't want any food. I can make calls. People could be running around. Nobody is doing anything, and they're not talking
green
either.
M&Ms. They don't want green M&Ms.
Nothing. They're sitting there, and they're basically, I think they're not even exchanging anything, any words, anything. They're just sitting there, and everybody's just looking at each. It's such a weird situation to be in. At the end, the only thing they wanted to eat, there was like a fruit basket or something on the table in the middle there, and I thought that the fruit was like wax or something, but I guess like the oranges were real oranges or something. They're sitting there and like eating them, And I'm just thinking to myself, no one would believe me that I'm here with this like rock dude and with Gerard Butler, who's known for like, going around and drinking and being badass. And like, I'm sitting here and they're doing nothing. They're eating oranges and shutting up and saying nothing, So,
Did these guys know each other from before? Had they ever met?
I don't, this is a complicated question. I suspect that they had met before. I suspect that
Okay.
they had met before. I don't know how friendly they were or whatever it is. I suspect they had met before, but I don't know. In any case, the conversation was so flimsy that there was nothing for me to even like. It's not like, oh, good to see you again. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of pieced this together in my mind, thinking that maybe they know each other. But in any case, they're sitting there, not saying a word, eating oranges. And after maybe 30 minutes of this, where they wanted nothing, no drinks, no nothing, there's no fun, there's no models,
No
nothing is
girls?
going on. What'd you say?
No girls?
Nothing. This is the most boring, stupid green room meeting, like VIP room meeting ever in the history of VIP room meetings. I'm just sitting there like an idiot. And after about 30 minutes, I guess, like Gerard Butler, and I'm saying nothing. It was just super awkward. 30 minutes of awkwardness. Gerard Butler gets up. He's says goodbye to the other person. And maybe they shake hands or something like that. And of course, he walks out. I walk out after him. And yeah, I mean, he did thank me for doing that and all that stuff. Although, I don't know what I'm even being thanked for. And I felt very disappointed. But I said, oh, okay, no problem, whatever. If there was a plus side, if I could say a little bit of a plus, before, like right after this, he left the whole event. You know what I mean? Like this was his event. He came, he did this thing, he leaves the event. And the only positive thing I can say is that there were a few ladies there that saw that he came and said bye to me and left. And they were smiling at me in a way that they hadn't been smiling at me before.
Right, Gerard.
To them, it looks like Gerard Butler arrived, was hanging around with some weird dude. Then he's like, says thank you to this guy, talks to him, leaves, and like speaks to no one. So at least there were a few ladies that must have noticed this, and it looked all right. I'll give him that. But aside from that, I was thinking to myself, this is the most bizarre thing ever. But the story doesn't end there. Okay, take about half a year or a year or something later. I'm, on the East Coast, okay? And I had a meeting with some publicist. As I said, I used to do more stuff with like publicists, with events, with things like that. And it was a publicist that she recommended where we eat. And, publicists usually know where the hot place to eat is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'll eat at any diner, like, that'll serve a burger. I'll eat that burger. I don't know, like, the weird, fancy, trendy place that somebody's going. And then, like, the fancy celebrities will go there. You know what I mean? But she knew.
$1,000 sushi or something. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I said, okay, like, I met her for this kind of lunch at this place, whatever. And I think I'm the one that paid for it. See, the thing is that I'm an old-fashioned guy, like, especially also it's like a publicity lady, and like she looks all right and whatever. I mean, what, we're gonna get the bill and split it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel good about that. I feel like I have to be like, at least even if I'm a bum, I have to seem like a reasonable businessman and like pick up the bill. Unfortunately, it was some weirdo, trendy place, but you know what I'm saying. Picked it up anyways. That's off topic. In any case, I pay for the bill, whatever. We had our meeting, talked about whatever it is we talked about, and I get up and as I'm walking out, another person is heading towards the door, and we're both walking out of the place together. And who is it?
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
No way.
I swear, twice. I met this man twice in my life, and this is my second time. And it was not too long after the original incident. So
did he remember your name?
Okay, so I look at him. And it seems like he thinks that he's met me, but it's like kind of fuzzy in his mind. And I tell him my name, and he's like, where did we meet? Like, where did we meet or whatever, with his accent? And I said, oh, we met at this thing, this event. And he's like, remind me, what happened at this event? And I'm like, so now I'm giving him the recap. You know what I mean? But the thing is that I've had time to think about this weird event. So he's getting the recap the way you're getting it. I'm like, yeah. And I was there. And then suddenly you showed up and you're like, let's go to the thing. And I'm explaining. You stood there and you're like, wow, let's you and I go into the green room. But then we walked in and I said, and you were just sitting. And he's like, and what was I doing in the green room? And I'm like, nothing. You were doing nothing. And like, I start getting annoyed. I'm like, you were eating like an orange. I could have brought food up there. There was like top shelf alcohol and you were eating some orange and you didn't say anything. And like, the more annoyed I am at telling this story, the more Gerard Butler is happy. And this guy usually doesn't look happy at all. He's so happy. He's like the happiest guy ever. He just wants to hear more of this story. And he's like, and what happened then? And what happened then? And I'm like, I was sitting there, and then, I tried to break the ice, and I was doing this, and then what? And then I'm
You're
like,
telling him all this?
What'd you say?
You're telling him all this as a
I'm
recap?
telling him
This
everything.
is
I'm
awesome.
talking like you
This
guys.
is
I'm telling him
awesome.
this whole thing in the
This is
middle
awesome.
at the entrance of us walking out of this place, and I'm telling him the whole thing, giving him a recap, and the recap is me getting like really worked up and annoyed about it because, like, from my perspective, the whole thing was rather annoying. So, and the more he hears me annoyed telling the story, the more questions he has, the more happy he seems. He's like smiling and laughing, and he's so happy. And this annoys me even more. It's like, why are you so happy, dude? So in any case.
You're filling in the blanks of his memory. He must have been blacked out or something.
So then, I say we sat there, and he's like, and what did I do? I ate. I said, you ate an orange. I ate an orange. I'm like, yes, you ate an orange. You didn't say anything. You just sat there. And then when? Then I got up and we left, and I explained the whole thing. And so he says something to me like, well, you seem awfully disappointed. And I said, well, yes. So then he says to me, you thought there'd be hookers and blow. I swear that's what he said to me. And I said to him, well, yeah, kind of. So he goes like, ha, 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 ha. Sorry, mate. And he walks away.
Well, didn't he think there were going to be hookers and blow?
I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know until this day. I don't understand the whole situation. I don't understand the whole situation until today.
Oh.
I know that he was super excited about me telling him how I sat there for 30 minutes and he didn't say a word and he didn't want any drinks and there were no ladies there. He loved this story. This was like the best thing that ever happened to him. And then at the end, he even said the sentence. Like, the thing is that this is his sentence with the hookers and blow gave me the feeling that at least I'm not in the Twilight Zone. You know what I mean? Because he said we were going to the green room. Like, this seemed like it was going to be a big party, and he didn't deliver.
Maybe there was
awesome.
Maybe there was a bet, and the entire thing was, hey, we have this guy that works for us, Price of Reason. You need to go fuck with him, and everybody was in on it, but you, and they were just messing.
Yeah. Just sit there and eat an orange for a half hour and see how annoyed he gets.
Price, do you go to a lot of green rooms? Because in my experience, the band is always in their trailer. They don't usually hang out in their own green rooms.
It wasn't a trailer situation. There were no trailers. See, okay, if it's a tour, usually they have their own like buses and trailers and all this other shit. But if it's a situation where like it's a one-off and it's not part of a routed tour and they're just at the venue, there are spaces for them that are like their own space. Like each band would have some kind of dressing room / green room that it's their own thing, and that was a situation here. Like I said,
they'd have a tour bus that was parked up.
And this again, this brings us back to if it's tour bus and it's like the trailer. This is stuff when it's a much bigger type of show. You know what I mean? This was something that had to do with a very special, like very specific, somewhat private event. It's not like that they're going to a stadium and performing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but I've been to kind of those too. I just literally, when I think of the green room, it's all the people that wanted to meet the famous people, and it's never really the famous people. They may pop in and say hi, but they never seem to hang out there.
I think we called it the green room. I mean, it was not a typical thing. And just so you know, because it was not like a type that's open for the public and all this, it wasn't like the bands had like 70 people visiting them. You know what I mean? Even Gerard Butler was sort of an anomaly, but like he was such a big name. And much more well known than anybody else that was there in terms of like quote unquote celebrities. He's actually a guy in movies. He's not a guy that like you can these days comment what you want about his movies, but at least he's in movies that like get released somewhere.
Yeah, he's a big name. Did you ever find out where the rest of the band was?
They were with the hookers and snorting blow.
That's probably it. That's probably the why everybody was having such a good time here. I was doing. They were like using me as a diversion of sorts. I don't really even know.
This reminds me a little bit of your Diana Ross story, where you basically you were required to be an unexpected handler of a celebrity that was like way above your pay grade. Like,
right, exactly. So I mean, in this case, I don't really have any explanation, and yeah, but in that case, like, okay, in that case, they sent her. She had my number, and she asked me a question. I didn't know what to answer, and I was an idiot. But in this case, I seem to be
Yeah.
like on top of my game. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah,
making
yeah,
all the
no.
right moves and doing whatever, and that's why I don't get it. Like,
Yeah,
why
you
would you bother? Why would you bother like making it seem like something interesting is going to happen here, and at the end, we're just sitting here in some weird, awkward situation. You know?
well, you had to say yes. You were his de facto handler the moment he came up to you. So you
Right. I
couldn't have
could
blown
like
him off.
this
Yeah.
this would be a major issue if I didn't say yes. Like I need to help you. You want to go see them? Let's go say hi to them. Like that. It's the only answer I could have given. I couldn't have given another answer.
Yeah. Yep. And if there had been hookers and blow in the green room, you still would have had to say yes. You had no option. You had to go.
Right. So yeah, it is what it is. And yes, he knew my real name. He didn't even call me Price of Reason. He knew, he knew my name, which was surprising. Like I'm surprised that that publicist or whoever it was just said like, let's go talk to that guy over there. Like I, I don't know why I was surprised at that moment. I was genuinely surprised when I turned around. It was Gerard Butler. I was genuinely surprised.
That's a great story.
Yeah,
I wish Six was here to hear it.
Yeah, I think that's one of my. Well, actually, I also love the Diana Ross and I love the Jade Seymour one, but no, this was top shelf, and you did a great job. Like
I did the best I could. It actually, in reality, the whole thing was even weirder than me being able to explain it. The first thing was weird, but the second meeting with him and him mentioning, but the best part of the story was that he finally, at the end, he said, "Oh, you thought there'd be hookers and blow."
Yeah.
And it's like, so you get it. You fucking get it, right? So why was I sitting there for 30 minutes?
Oh, I want to ask, Mark, it's not green M&Ms, it's brown, but you know why that's
brown?
there, right?
That was just to see if they read the rider, right?
Yep.
Right, because it was in the technical and safety rider, and if they didn't read the actual safety procedures, they wouldn't have seen the M&Ms thing, and then Van Halen would just walk out. They knew the promoter didn't properly set up the tour, and they would leave.
Yeah, which is actually really smart. I mean, people were making fun of it because
brilliant.
the M&Ms, but it really wasn't about the M&Ms. I mean, it was
Right, it was about, are we going to get electrocuted because this guy's cutting corners?
Yeah, so in Spinal Tap, famously kind of lampoons that with the tiny samishes with
it still makes me laugh.
Left the sandwiches. Yeah, how am I supposed to go on stage? How am I supposed to eat this with this little piece of bread here? What you call this a sandwich?
Like this has a little guy in here.
And the only thing is that I also don't know why I found it so funny when I was and why he wanted the recap and why he was so happy the more annoyed I was. I don't have any explanation for that either.
It seemed like he didn't remember, and you were actually filling him in on a blank. I don't know. That is
how long
bizarre.
after was it that you like? Was it a week after?
Bizarre.
It was like 6 months to a year later. It wasn't 5 years later, but it was something I think like 6 months later.
Yeah, so it wasn't immediate. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if this is like something that he's pulled on multiple people, and he does it intentionally because he wants to mess with you.
I have considered that as well.
Yeah.
I have considered that as an option. It could very well be that he was messing with me. I don't have any explanation why, and that's the only 2 times that I ever met him. So it was the encounter at the green room, whatever you want to call it, VIP room or backstage, whatever you want to call that thing, and then the fancy restaurant, fancy whatever on the East Coast. That I told him the thing and he laughed and left. So
was this before 2012?
Why does it matter?
Because that's when he got sober.
I see. I will plead the fifth on this one. I have to look back to see what year this was on, but it was likely somewhere, I'd say between like, that year and like 14 or 15, something along those lines. It wasn't it was like, how there's like the 2010s. It was like the first half of the 2010s, and I don't have an exact date because it's been years since like that thing happened, but it was somewhere around there. But
It,
I don't know. Maybe he, I don't know if he was sober,
yeah.
or he was sober and that's why he wasn't enjoying himself. Could
Well,
that have been it? I don't know.
if I ever see him in a meeting, can I go up to him and say, "Hey, man, why were you fucking with my boy Price?"
Yes, tell him tell him that you can tell him the story. If you ever see him in a meeting, tell him that happened.
Well, I mean, I've seen, yeah, I definitely will. I'd love to get an answer to your question. Wouldn't that be the capper of the entire
if
saga?
you could get an answer for this thing, it would be brilliant. It would be absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to make that my mission. I'm going to find out which city he's making movies in. I'm going to go to every meeting in town until.
Do it. You know what? I'm happy. I hope that he remembers whatever it is, but I think he should remember it. And I stand by my story 100%.
Yeah, and then whoever meets him, he's like, "Hey, do you want to join me for Smokers and Blow?" I was just kidding, Price.
Well, if you can get to him, do it. If I ever meet him again, I'll ask him, but I don't know, that the story will be any. I don't think that he'll be able to share any additional information that will help me later on.
Yeah, if he does that to a lot of people, he won't remember the specific instance. But
the thing is that if you told me that he was trying to be sober at that moment, I guess it could give an answer to why he wasn't partaking in any of the celebrations. But if that were the case, why would he ask me to go into the green room and make it seem like there would be some interesting things happening there?
Maybe the band was also sober and he wanted to hang out with them.
Man, this is all very complicated. I didn't really think about all that. What year did he get sober?
Well, he got sober earlier, but he relapsed, and I guess he had a really bad time up till 2012, and then he went through Betty Ford, and I think he's been clean ever since. So 2012.
I don't know if it was before or after this, but I will say this. This is somewhere like, in between 12 and like 15. You know what I mean? It's somewhere around that time frame. So I don't know if he had other relapses, or maybe, like you said, maybe he got sober and he was trying to make sure he doesn't do bad stuff, and that's why he wanted me with him. But if that were the case, he could have explained it, right? What what was the plan? Like, I'll take this guy along. Nobody will want to do anything fun if he's here. And he was right.
Well, if he told you, it'd be one thing. But, they always, like, when I first got sober, still would go to concerts and shows, and they usually would have like a yellow flag setup tent, and all the sober people would hang together, to support each other. And so there wasn't anything in the immediate vicinity. So, I mean, I do remember going to events and specifically seeking out other sober people that I knew. So that part would make sense.
You're starting to make some kind of sense for me here. Maybe there was something else going on here that I wasn't aware of. Obviously, it seems that way, but I don't really know beyond that. And the only reason I wasn't like, I could Google it and give you an exact year, but the thing is I don't really want to do that, because the more I give, the more, I'm sort of, I'm trying
I understand.
to be, how do I like
sneakily vague? Otherwise,
yes, I'm trying to be sneakily vague, because the more I talk, like if I said what band it was, at this point you could probably Google and find out where this was. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Then it's only a couple more jumps to finding out what companies were there and tracking you down, and you don't need an internet stalker.
Yes, that actually happened. By the way, that's funny. That happened to me. Melvin. I like Melvin, but when I was like, when I was like on open bar, he sent like a chat, which like the drinker highlighted that he wanted to hear this like Jane Seymour story. And after I was done and I was forced to tell the story, like a quick version of it, the people that were asking me on the panel, like, oh, where was this? What year? Like, what this, what that? And like, I'm sort of dodging I felt very bad because I was dodging questions, because if I say too much, it's really easy to figure out what this is. You know what I mean? Like, 3-4 additional details, and like you use Google and you'll be able to figure it out. Now, okay, I will say that in order to get to the exact person from all the people that were involved and the companies involved, it's not like an easy thing that in 1 second, like you click a button and you know who I am and it was me. But I'm just saying that at least it gives you something to work with. Do you get what I mean?
No. Internet autism is undefeated. Remember that woman who posted the picture and they ended up sending her a U.S. Geographic Survey map of exactly where her feet were putting on the yard in front of the restaurant. And no, you don't want to mess with that.
Right. So that's why I'm always like I omit certain things and try to like remove certain things. Although in some cases I probably have made mistakes. You know what I mean? There's certain things that I bet you could figure out. Like there's one that I can think of that I suspect that like you could. I'm not saying that easily. It would take like a lot of work, and I don't think that the internet autism would help. But like I said, there was a few cases that I maybe even gave like a minor something to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my favorite story is the Shia LaBeouf and the webcam thing. Right? You're familiar with that one?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Professor, it's really involved, but basically he I guess he set up some kind of webcam and people tracked it down and they kept doing graffiti or put up funny signs or pictures. They were messing with him and he got more and more frustrated. He kept trying to hide the camera until he just put a webcam on the roof of a building and pointed it toward the sky. And the whole internet, like people were able to figure out where it was. They somehow weather report, they found the town, they're driving around. And they're using like sirens, and then you can hear them on the webcam and triangulating the Doppler shift from various horns and everything. It basically, I think it sent LaBeouf into a nervous breakdown. Like it's a huge involved story, but it's a little sad, but it's also kind of hilarious when you hear about it.
Yeah.
It has a name. I don't remember the name. Let me see if I can find it. Speaking of, there's somebody who needs to get a Betty Ford.
Oh boy.
Has he done anything lately, acting or not really?
He's gone to jail last year or early this year, right? In New Orleans.
Ooh.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, there's always some weird thing with him.
Yeah. You know, I didn't actually. He's not my favorite actor, but I really didn't hate him in the Indiana Jones movie.
He was fine in that, yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I thought that when I would go see Indiana Jones that I would get annoyed with him. And honestly, he's not what ruins that movie. The problems with that movie are actually the screenplay and some creative decisions and the monkeys and the CGI. There's a lot of problems there. But surprisingly, he's not the one that ruins the movie. Meaning, in the first maybe half of the movie, he's not my favorite actor, not by a long shot, but in the first half of the movie, where it's sort of a story that, like, you know, he visits Indy because they kidnapped, you know, Marion, and he's like trying to work with him, and together they're sort of going out on an adventure. There's actually potential there. That wasn't terrible. There is even some decent moments there in that first half of the movie. It's just that, like, once you start with, like, you know, the monkeys and whatever, there's something there that just it falls off a cliff.
Okay. Were you talking about the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It says it's a performance art project called "He Will Not Divide Us." The live feed was hijacked and systematically sabotaged by users on the image board 4chan in a highly elaborate real life game of capture the flag. And then you go through the whole timeline. Yep. It's really, it's epic. Really. The links people went to, it's worth checking out. He will not divide us.
Oh, well, I have no idea what you're talking about, Ista. I feel like
it's one of those pretentious performance art things that celebrities sometimes do.
Yeah, they were trying to give the finger to Donald Trump basically in his first term.
Did they get him?
And this has something to do with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah. This was a project that Shia LaBeouf set up where he was going to have this webcam with like a flag and stuff in it, and you were supposed to show up at every single day of Donald Trump's presidency. They were going to have people show up in front of the camera and say, "He will not divide us," and they were going to record them and put them all together. But then it was a live webcam, and so the people on the internet figured out where it was and started hijacking it and
started flashing their boobs or something.
There were all kinds of things.
That sounds hilarious. How did I not know this story?
One guy showed up. In fact, one guy showed up in front of the camera and started yelling like neo-Nazi stuff, mustache man stuff, and Shia LaBeouf attacked him and was arrested.
Yeah, and he kept moving the camera into more and more secret locations until finally he just pointed it toward the sky and like, no way they'll figure out where this is. And they did. And each little time he was getting more and more unhinged.
This is hilarious. This is actually really funny. How do I not know this?
I told you. It's epic, man. It's epic.
Yeah, the internet, the autists decided to treat it like you said. It was like a geocaching, capture the flag kind of a thing, like where they were, we're going to use all these little clues to figure out like where these, what these things are. Yeah, it's just like you said. It says like there's the people that are like, hey, they take like a selfie of themselves or whatever. And they're like, tell me where I am. And people go through and they figure out the angle of the sun and the distance between them and the building behind them. They're standing in a parking lot and on this day at this time. And they look at that and they're like, you're in the parking lot of an Arby's in Knoxville, Tennessee. And you're standing in this parking lot. And it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
And they do it all from their home. Like they'll figure out it could be like one of 20 intersections in the country based on the maps. They'll go to Google Streets and they'll look at the shrubbery and the power lines and the angles involved. It's really, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll hijack the flock camera in your neighborhood, and
you got plenty of those things. Oh man, I got to explain what flock cameras were to my wife earlier this week because I mentioned something about another story of somebody else doing something, and then we were driving through a town and we saw flock cameras, and I was like, seriously, like freaking things are everywhere, and so I was telling her the story about it,
Britain.
And she was like, I was like, there's a whole app. There's an app you can go download. There's a website you can go to that shows like every documented flock camera. There's thousands of them all over. And it depends on where you are. Some places it's more than others, but so there's entire forums online that tell you like how to most effectively destroy them without leaving evidence behind.
Yeah.
The like pointing lasers into the cameras to break the sensors and all sorts of stuff.
There's a couple motorcycle clubs that have made it their mission to create flock-free zones, and all they do is drive around and destroy them.
Yep.
Not that we're advocating that on Price of Reason Studios.
No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. No, but it's amazing how much the cameras can do good, but it's just that so much power and that can be compromised and used for evil or bad intentions. And they it's not just the license plate too. They know who's driving the car. They record all the stickers on the car or whatever messages. Like say you had like an anti-government message on your car, they just know everything. I can know everything about you and figure out your most people go to the same route to work. You can figure out where you work and it's insidious.
Well, and there was the one video that went viral just a few weeks ago, right, where the lady basically being accused of being a porch pirate, having stolen like a $700 package off someone's porch, and all they had was a very blurry photo from like the Ring cam. And then the police knew that she was in town when it happened because they knew her car came into town and left. And she's like, this is all the evidence you have is that you got a picture of a blurry blonde woman and you know that I was in town. And
didn't like a grandmother get arrested from like another state I was reading about, and like they allegedly had like the license plate reader screwed up or something, and she like had never been to this state, and then they went and arrested her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that happens as well.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
And they have private companies that are able to gather the Ring camera data and the Next camera from people's private cameras. From the moment you walk out your door, you're on somebody's camera, and there's a company that's tracking you.
Yeah, because that was the kind of reason of the Super Bowl ad, right? Like it was quote unquote to find dogs, right? Which didn't sound bad per se, but then they were going to link all the Ring cameras. I mean, I have Ring cameras in my house all around my, and like my mom is 88, so I have like Ring cameras everywhere, around her house, and even put one inside, kind of near the stairs. She's like, "Why is that one inside?" I'm like, "Oh, just so I can see if someone, at the front door." But really, it's like one that rotates, and I can, God forbid, check like. If she falls going up the stairs or something, not that I'm fine on my mom, but then imagine if that gets out into the government or someone.
No, it's already. No, they don't need to hack. There are already companies that get that data. It's not private. Read the terms of service.
Yep.
Well, Mom, don't fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
But,
I ditched my Ring camera long ago. I still have a doorbell camera, but not a Ring. Because it started getting too weird.
Yeah, I have I just have the wired ones and a short range Wi-Fi that's not internet connected. It's just RF.
Just RF,
yeah.
Well, there's a stream killer.
Privacy.
Big Brother's watching.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, everywhere.
Privacy is just it's basically dead, unfortunately, in this internet age, which I can't stand. Not that I like it, but it's just it's horrific. It's just and just like people are getting debanked, because then they can say, oh, you're doing a lot of transactions that we don't like, right? Because think of it, even 20 years ago, you couldn't, you'd had the data, but you couldn't sort through it, you couldn't use it. But now they can just use the computer programs, the AI, like, let's see who looks kind of suspicious here, and then boom, you get you can get debanked, or like, oh, you were buying something you shouldn't be buying, that we don't approve of, and boom.
And here's the scary part. So these private companies can sell your data to the government, who can legally purchase it, even if they didn't have a warrant to get it through legal means. They can still get it through consumer commercial needs. So they bypass the warrant structures in the Fourth Amendment entirely.
Yeah. And not to say, civil disobedience or anything is awesome, but I will say this. When it comes to like these flock cameras, community pressure has made a difference.
Absolutely.
Voices do make a difference. In the first 5 months of 2026, 39 municipalities canceled their contracts. That's 39 out of the 82 that have canceled in just the last few years. So the pressure is building on these things, right? So if this is something you're dealing with in your community, as we are in one of our local communities here, the putting pressure on the community, putting pressure on the people in charge does make a difference when people are saying, look, this is not how we want our money spent in our municipality. With all of this stuff, especially when it comes to a company like Flock that has some very serious issues with data sharing, privacy, and that kind of thing, right? So,
yeah, my favorite story about that was a municipality, I think it was out in Arizona, where the legislature, they wouldn't get rid of flock cameras, so they filed FOIA requests and demanded that all of the data was public. So, like, the people working in the government, their data was also like, everybody got to see the flock data, and immediately, like, they shut down the whole system.
Yeah, I think that was Flagstaff.
Oh, yeah,
it might have been Flagstaff.
Right. Yeah. But I love that. It's like, okay, we get to watch you too. Oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't a good idea.
But it's money and surveillance, right? So.
It used to be having a police state was really expensive. You need to hire a third of the population to spy on the other 2/3. Now with technology, it's far too cheap. to run a complete surveillance state.
And then now the you know, I'm not saying this is every police department or every police officer, but a lot of the policing being turned over to AI.
Yeah.
So just like, just look through a bunch of images. Oh, did you find someone that it looks like? Oh yeah, so you know that must be them.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And and that stuff, I mean, genuinely, I will say, you know, I've seen the research, I've seen the studies, and I understand the stuff behind it. It actually is biased. It is racist in the way that it works. And it's not necessarily just because of the training data. It's because if you've ever tried to take a picture of a black cat with a digital camera, you'll notice the actual, like, the details don't show up. Because digital cameras are very bad at collecting data when there's not enough light, when the subject is not light enough, and whether you think it's, you know, racist to talk about this or not, people who are black are darker skinned, and so digital cameras do not capture their features as well without good lighting. And these, you know, flock cameras and all these other things, these, you know, security cameras, CCD cameras in buildings and stuff, do not capture the features of black people's faces well in poorly lit situations. And so, these cameras quite literally do think that all black people look alike. Because they can't, because the way that the actual technology itself works has difficulty actually capturing the features of people, especially black people with much darker skin. So it's, you know, turning over policing to AI, it's such a bad idea. Such a bad idea.
Yeah. Professor, did you cover that Vulture article, The Feed is Fake? The one written by Lane Brown, or the video about it that was talking about all the bots and the marketing companies and all the fake virality and all the dummy accounts like on Twitter and Instagram?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. It's definitely where it basically.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely give it a read. I'd love.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
It basically means that all of the internet hype for everything that we thought was organic is actually fake.
Oh yeah,
like everything
it's dead internet theory all over again, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the reason this one is so it's so condemning is because you can actually go onto the Discord servers and see the services they offer. So, you know, like you could go into the one where they're pumping up Supergirl or they're gaslighting the Odyssey, and you can pay for, you know, 30,000 and price 60,000, pushing virality here and there. It's nuts. It's like, unless you physically really know the other person on the other end, and we've instinctively know some, right? You can tell when they're bots, but these are actually real people that are hired to go and push out the narrative until it gets picked up by the automatic systems. So it's hard to tell. They make videos like the same backyard cell cam videos. It's even the experts can't tell. The only reason they know is because they're able to go and see what services are offered. So I'm DMing you the article now. It's definitely worth a night owl on talking about all of the ramifications of this. It's crazy.
All right. Price, you still with us, buddy?
Yeah, no, I was listening to all this interesting stuff.
And and it wasn't about hookers and blow, unfortunately. But,
I was still thinking about the hookers and blow now that I had to tell this story.
Hey, do we get for being on the show so much? Do we get anything in the green room?
No, there's nothing. This is the green room.
The brown M&Ms.
The green room,
but they're only brown because we've already licked all the color off the outside. Sorry.
Yeah, and even though we're talking about that, I was still thinking about hookers and blow. I just want you to know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I can't offer you a green room, but you know, we do have a few great people in this chat that are hanging out with us, and that's even better than hookers and blow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I don't need any of that stuff. Yep.
Like N is hanging out with us.
None for me. None for me.
Yeah.
What could be better than that? And Caleb Levine. Who needs hookers and blown? We got Caleb Levine, yo.
Well, we've also got some friends joining us over on Rumble.
Okay, so let me read. I'm just kidding, Caleb. Levine. I'm happy that you're here, but you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, Rumble, Folsom Lockdown, Mr. Phobos, Elizabeth Quince, Born to Be Down, who gave a very nice gift. Thank you. That was like a $25 gift. Thank you so much, Born to Be Down. Darren Mai, Alonzo Musk, Reacham842, Angelo DD, Mark D with a C, and You Wrong. And you know what? I'm gonna do a raid now. While you do whatever it is that you do, I'm gonna set up a raid.
Yeah, you set up your raid over on Rumble. We had a bunch of people joining us this evening. So happy to see all of you out there on YouTube. Our top 50 chatters here. We had Phaser 1X, Eclay Thomason, Jonathan Conroy, Backyard Tardis, Georgia Cyrex, Hira Runte, Rogue's Backstory, Shadow Piglet, Kamchi, Trev Toon Art. Oh, just reloaded on me. Hold on. Travis Gray, Queen Glamazon, Dark Winter, Mr. Brown Alliance, Ron Donafero, Red Pilled Rants, Thronkill, Emperor Goodwin, Jason Love Doctor Who, Dutch Gradient, Captain Zoom, Lucy Meow, Joe Darkness, Hoot Owl, RJ Godzilla, Electronic Progression, Lasher, Keely Chow, Con Lives, Jason Webster, Angry Sparrow, Phantom Outsider, Mark D with a C, Istophobos, Kodo Rob, Yitis, Caleb Levine, Putin, Badfoot, Kuna Ritchie, The Dead Man, Matthew Marcillo, Tomahawk 511, Ethereal Dragon, Gavin Unit, Big Sur River, Darren M, and Sagacious 6, the wonderful 6. And we did have some lovely gifts over on YouTube this evening. 6 gave us a $2.50 chat. Gavin gave us a £2 chat. The Dead Man with $2. 6 with $25 for you to tell your story. You need to clip that and just email it to her. Price so she can hear the whole thing. And then Darren M also for $2.50 Canadian. So thank you.
Hold on, I'm just sharing a few links. I want to share Mark D with the C.
Thank you.
Second. So this is the YouTube thing, and also Istophobos and his channel, who's been doing very well on his channel, by the way.
It's been fun, but it is work.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I'm sharing.
So on Thursday, we'll be back. I do believe both Price and I will have seen.
Yes, we will.
The Odyssey. As long as neither of us falls asleep, we'll be able to come back and review it that evening. I was going to be joining Nick this week, but we had to reschedule, so I'll be joining Nick for Nick Talks Trek next week. We had to reschedule this week, but that's okay. We'll still get to talk about it. That's going to be a fun conversation. One of the probably worst episodes of the season and one of the best all-time episodes of the season. Oh, The Apple and Doomsday Machine is what we get to talk about. So awesome, yeah, The Apple, which is well known as one of the worst episodes of the show. And then Doomsday Machine, which is easily one of the best. So that'll be a fun conversation. But yeah, we had to push till next week.
Well, it looks like we've reached the end of our stream, I believe. Wait, I didn't share your thing. Hold on. If I'm already sharing, I'll share your thing. Here. I'm doing that now. And yes, I shared it on both platforms. I think I covered everybody. So since this was our 250th episode, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I really am happy that we also got to hang out with Estephobos and with Mark D with the C. It's only fitting for the 250th episode that we have the guys that are often here with us hanging out, whether it's in the chat or our VIP friends here on this channel. So always a pleasure, and thank you guys. Thank you, Ista, and thank you, Mark, for joining us. And as always, thank you, Professor. Just because it's the 250th episode, I'll say that when we started this stream, there were a few things that changed over time in the beginning, but I think that you joining this show added a lot of stability to it, and part of the reason that we got to 250 episodes is also because of how solid you are.
I appreciate
working with me on this show. I'm a strange and quirky guy, but you kind of put up with it somehow.
Well, I would feel bad if I didn't get to help put Vex to sleep every night. So
for that alone, it was all worth it. So this has been the Green Room, the Price of Reason Green Room, and on that great note, we're going to say goodbye to everybody, and here on Thursday.
All right, take care, everyone.
Take care.
Take care.